Chapter 1687. Sect meeting Qin Yin cursed in his heart. He thought that the roasted pig was waiting for him to return before eating. He never expected that they had already eaten several of them. Who said I don't have good food? Qin Yin laughed mischievously and said, I killed the dark dragon on the road. Ha ha. I have dragon meat in my hands. Your pork is too weak. It can't be compared to my dragon meat. I don't want to eat it. As he spoke, he released the floating cloud pagoda and went inside to rest. The black donkey was the fastest to react. It immediately blocked him and laughed. Boss, you're the best. We all acknowledged that. This pig was roasted a long time ago. We specially left it for you to eat. Brother, all the dark inscription beasts we encountered were killed by the little black donkey. He was in a hurry to roast them, so he didn't wait for you. Moreover, he ate the most. He was the one who had no conscience. Xiao Yuemei immediately ran to Qin Yun's side and said with a charming smile. Qin Yun pinched her face and said with smile, Yuemei, you haven't even wiped the oil off your mouth. You dare say that you didn't eat much? The little black donkey wanted to say something, but Xiao Yuemei glared at it, and it didn't dare to continue. Qin Yun rolled up his sleeves and said with a smile, I just happen to be hungry. Then let me eat this pig alone. Xiao Hua smiled and said, Boss, please go ahead. Anyway, we're all full. You can enjoy it yourself. Xiao Yingying took out a lot of delicious fruit juices and placed them on the side. She said with a sweet smile, Brother Xiao Yun, quickly drink it. I specially prepared this for you. I haven't even given it to them. Xiao Yuemei walked over and caressed Xiao Yingying's face. She said with angry smile, Sister Yingying, you are so biased. You only let Big Brother drink and not me. Qin Yun said with smile, Come, let me introduce you to some new friends. He got Zi Qingsheng, Shui Tianzi, Mo, and Little Jade Rabbit to come out. Xiao Yingying had seen Mo and Little Jade Rabbit before. When she saw the two cuties, she happily ran over and played with them. Zi Qingsheng and Shui Tianzi were also relatively famous immortal kings in the Moon Palace. She was extremely powerful. Mo is helping Pippi Pig evolve the runes within his body. Pippi Pig is very respectful towards Mo, the high priest. He calls her big sister. Finally, Qin Yun let Yang Yang come out. He didn't know much about Yang Yang. When Yang Yang came out, she was a very small and beautiful sparrow, but the fire on her body caused people and beasts to feel an inexplicable sense of fear. This is the ninth heaven sparrow. The black donkey cried out. Sun Soul, ninth heaven Shin sparrow. Baize also cried out in surprise. When Yang Yang came out and saw the roasted pig, she flew over without saying a word. Then, she became very big and bit off more than half of it. F*CK. You can eat even more than me. The black donkey was astonished. Boss, where did you get this thing? It's too scary. Heishu was a bit scared because he was more afraid of bird-type mythological beasts. Qin Yun said with smile, Don't worry, Yang Yang is very obedient. The black donkey saw that Yang Yang ate the roasted pig in a few bites without even spitting out the bones. It muttered in low voice, Not as obedient as me. Soon after, Qin Yun took out the 3 dragon tigers. They have already been roasted, and Yang Yang is very happy to share them with everyone. Then he told everyone how he killed the 3 dragon tigers, causing everyone to exclaim in admiration again and again. Because they were able to eat 3 dragon tigers, Xiao Yuemei and the black donkey became crazy with joy. They kept shouting, Yang Yang is invincible. Shui Tianzi lightly groaned and said, That Shu Mengyu. She actually said that little brother Yun is infatuated with her. Why didn't she take a look at herself? When she was in the safe city, she was bragging everywhere. Serve her right to die. After knowing that Shu and Shi family besieged Qin Yun, everyone became very angry. They wished they could kill their way into the inscription world and settle the debt with their families. Yang Yang only spat out fire to roast the 3 dragon tigers. She did not add any seasoning. Xiao Yuemei and the others are the most experienced in this aspect. They also cooperated and sprinkled all kinds of seasoning on the dragon tigers. Yang Yang turned into a small and beautiful sparrow and landed on the back of the little black donkey. The little black donkey looked at Yang Yang and asked, "Big sister, can you transform into a human?" Yang Yang nodded her head. Qin Yun is somewhat amazed and said, "Yang Yang, you can transform into a human? Quickly transform and see." Bai Zhe said with smile, "Some beasts are not used to transforming into human. They won't transform into human unless it's absolutely necessary." Yang Yang's body suddenly emitted a burst of purple golden light. A 2 to 3 year old adorable little girl wearing a purple skirt appeared. This little girl looks like she was carved from jade, her long purple golden hair draped over her shoulders. She is wearing a purple skirt that looks like it was woven from purple feathers. It is very beautiful. She sat on the back of the little black donkey and said in her childish voice, "Little donkey, quickly run. Little donkey, quickly run." I'm not a donkey. Others might not know, but how could you, the ninth heaven Shin Sparrow, not know? The little black donkey helplessly said, causing everyone to laugh. He doesn't dare to act out against the ninth heaven Shin Sparrow because those 3 dragon tigers were killed by Yang Yang. If he wants to eat their meat, he must look at Yang Yang's face. What a cute little girl. Xiao Yingying hugged little Jade Rabbit and ran over to Yang Yang and said, "I am Xiao Yingying. This is a small pastry I made. It's for you to eat." Yang Yang took the pastry and stuffed it into her mouth. She very cutely ate it. After tasting the delicious taste of the pastry, her face revealed a sweet smile, and she very happily jumped up and down. On her back, there is a pair of purple golden wings that allow her to fly very quickly. Xiao Yingying hugged Yang Yang and kissed her cute little face. She said with smile, "So cute." Zi Qingsheng and Shui Tianzi are very fond of this cute Yang Yang. They walked over and touched her cute little face. If Xiao Yuanmei was not applying seasoning, she would have also gone over to play with Yang Yang. Xiao Hua chuckled and said, "Our inscription gate is truly powerful. With so many divine beasts gathered, there is no need to fear those dark royal race or emperor race." Mountain God laughed heartily and said, "Of course, our inscription gate is invincible in the 9 desolate." Shimin Dezhuang sighed with emotion and said, "Each and every one of them are divine beasts, heavenly rune beast, sun rune beast, and so on. My Pippy Pig is too embarrassed to show his face. Your Pippy Pig is arrogant and unparalleled under the heavens. It is also very awesome." Mountain God said with smile, "Old Mountain, you ate so many sacred mysterious silver crystals. How are you now? It seems like you have not changed at all." Qin Yun asked, "Great change, but it is not reflected in the large amount of divine fruits. The entire divine mountain has become even more sturdy. Sacred mysterious silver crystal fruit trees can be grown. Instant space immortal iron trees are also transforming into instant space sacred iron trees. This is good, this is good," Qin Yun said with very satisfied smile. "It is just that divine fruits that can increase cultivation have not appeared yet. Now, the most powerful divine fruits can only allow people to become immortal king from 9th layer, heavenly immortal. Any higher and it won't work." Mountain God sighed and said, "It doesn't matter. As long as we have a large amount of sacred mysterious silver crystal fruits, it will be fine." Xiao Yuanmei said, "We'll be a bit more diligent in the future and specially hunt dark inscription beasts to eat. Then we will be able to break through." Right. Eat, eat, eat." Yang Yang is eating a divine fruit and very happily shouted. Yang Yang looks like he is only 2 or 3 years old, but he is very formidable. Xiao Yuanmei said with smile, "Little cutie Yang Yang, prepare to eat. While eating, we will discuss the future development direction of Inscription Gate." Qin Yun said, "How about we call Xiao Ding and Grandpa Wei over? Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror and Wei Zhongzhen are also members of Inscription Gate." "No need," several people said in unison. Qin Yun looked at them and realized that they are those foodies. They must be worried that if they called Wei Zhongzhen and Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror over, they would eat another portion of 3 Dragon Tiger. "All right, I will talk to them later." Qin Yun shook his head and smiled, then began cutting the meat of the 3 Dragon Tiger. Zi Qingsheng and Shui Tianzi helped Yang Yang and Xiao Yingying cut large pieces of meat and gave them to Yang Yang and Xiao Yingying to eat. While eating, Qin Yun said, I want to rebuild the Magic Mirror's Formation Foundation. With the Magic Mirror's Formation Foundation, the Magic Mirror can be used again, and we can obtain many resources through the Magic Mirror. Brother, can you really make it? I heard that it is very difficult. Xiao Yuanmei said. Xiao Ding said before that it took you a very long time to set up the Magic Mirror's Formation Foundation in your past life. Xiao Huan nodded and said, The Magic Mirror's Formation Foundation is very complicated. Xiao Ding and I discussed this matter together. Qin Yun said with smile, It indeed requires some time, but now is different from the past. I have even better spatial runes in my hands. No problem, I will definitely be able to make it. Inside this divine rune mountain, there is very good instant space sacred iron. It is something that I evolved. Adding the large amount of sacred mysterious silver crystals I ate, it can provide a lot of energy. Mountain God said, Everyone is very clear about the matter of the magic mirror. Moreover, it is something that many people want to restore. There was a period of time in Immortal Desolate, because of the magic mirror, it became very convenient. Qin Yun said, If we can make the magic mirror, we will be able to have a certain amount of authority in Immortal Desolate through the magic mirror. There's another big reason why he wants to make the magic mirror. It is to find that dragon. He believes that the floating cloud Heavenly Seals dragon can certainly transform into a human. If he releases a message saying that he wants to find that dragon and it happens to be seen by that dragon, maybe it will come knocking on his door. Originally, Qin Yun thought that he would be able to find that dragon in the forest. But now he discovered that the dragon is in the direction of the Heavenly Crater. Since he has to go to the Heavenly Crater to face the Emperor race, he can only temporarily come back and look for it later. Although the 3 dragon tigers are very big, they're all very strong immortals, so they finished eating very quickly. Yang Yang ate the most. Moreover, the dragon heart with the most energy was given to her. After she finished eating, she began snoring loudly. Moreover, she did not turn into a bird and sleep next to Xiao Yingying. Qin Yun lightly sighed. He can only place Yang Yang in the 9-sun divine soul. He doesn't know whether Yang Yang ate too much and wanted to sleep, or because she used up all the core fragments. Yuanmei, take a trip to Guanghan Palace and call Sister Ling Long and the others over. We will begin setting up the Magic Mirror's Formation Foundation. Qin Yun said, All right. Xiao Yuanmei immediately took action. Lu Jian went to Nether Sect to find Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror, and Xiao Hua also went to inquire about the Emperor race. Qin Yun is inside the floating cloud pagoda, holding his god seat. He is trying to contact Immortal Desolate Sacred Master. Not long after, Immortal Desolate Sacred Master responded, Fool, I thought you were dead. I cannot contact you these past few days. Qin Yun said in a bad mood, How can I be dead? I am the strongest invincible sacred master in Immortal Desolate. Even the Emperor race have to give me some face. Brat Qin, do you know where I am now? Immortal Desolate Sacred Master laughed loudly and said, Where? Qin Yun asked. Chapter 1688. Emperor Clan Temple. The Sacred Master of the Immortal Desolate was created by the 9-Yang Divine Palace back then. He was also an old fox who had lived for several epochs. It was not strange for him to be able to hook up with the D clans. What about the fellow from the Emperor clan? Is he easy to get along with? Asked Qin Yun. He was worried that the D clan was a very barbaric fellow. After all, he had 3 Sun Soul in his hands, so it was easy for him to be targeted. The Sacred Master of Immortal Desolate smiled and said, It's all right, it's all right. When I rushed to the bottom of the Heavenly Cavern, I helped them escape. Even though they are from the Imperial clan, they were still polite to me. Oh, Qin Yun secretly felt relieved. He asked again, Are the dragon race's 2 powerful immortal emperors also in the Imperial Race Divine Palace? And there is also Guanghan Palace's Xian Rujing. Some people from Nether Sect were invited to Emperor Race Divine Palace. Immortal Desolate's sacred leader said with smile, Holy Sun Ancient City's fence-sitters are also at Emperor Race Divine Palace. Knowing that Xian Rujing is safe and is in the Emperor Race Divine Palace, Qin Yun felt relieved. He continued to ask, "Is the Emperor Race Divine Palace under the Heavenly Pit?" The sinkhole was huge, over 1,000 miles wide. It was more than enough to contain a huge palace. The Sacred Master of the Immortal Desolate said, "Yes, the Emperor clans and their Emperor clan's divine palace were all sealed beneath the sinkhole. That sinkhole led to the Dark Wasteland. I heard from the Emperor clans that the 9 Desolates had once been attacked by the Darkness Royal clan of the Dark Wastelands. The Emperor clans chased after them, and then they were trapped in the Heaven Pit. The Sovereign Race chased after the Dark Royalty and brought the entire Sovereign Race Divine Palace with them." Qin Yun was somewhat alarmed. The Imperial clans were truly ambitious. That was the lair of an Imperial clan, yet they threw it all into the sinkhole. They said that they wanted to kill the Dark Royal Race and invade the Dark Wasteland. That was why they moved their headquarters there. Who would have thought that they would be tricked by the Dark Royal Race and be sealed in the middle of the passage? The Sacred Master of Immortal Desolate said, "It took many years for them to grind away the seal and create that huge heavenly pit. Are all the Imperial clans in the Divine Desolate and Sacred Desolate the same?" Qin Yun asked. "I think so." The Sacred Master of Immortal Desolate suddenly said solemnly, "Brad Qin, you better stay far away from the D clan and don't come into contact with them. I don't know if these guys will target you or not." Qin Yun is so famous, and he has so many good things in his hands. There were so many people in the Imperial clan. Even if the big shots of the Imperial clan did not want Qin Yun's Sun Soul, the other juniors might covet it. After all, most young people didn't have any apprehensions. Moreover, they were competitive and liked to challenge those famous peers. If he tried his best not to come into contact with people from the Emperor clans, he would be able to avoid conflict with them. Then, in the current power structure of the Immortal Desolate, are there only the Dark Royal Race and the Imperial Race? Qin Yun asked, "What about your Immortal Desolate Temple? What is its position?" "My Immortal Desolate Palace and the Emperor clan are allies. In short, the Imperial clan is currently understanding the matter of the Immortal Desolate through the people from the Holy Sun Ancient City. They have already arranged for the people from the Holy Sun Ancient City to contact the big shots of the various powers to discuss." The Sacred Master of the Immortal Desolate said, "What's the relationship between Holy Sun Ancient City and the Imperial clans?" Qin Yun asked curiously. Holy Sun Ancient City once belonged to the Nine Yang Divine Palace, and the relationship between the Imperial clan and the Nine Yang Divine Palace is not shallow. It is said that the people of the Nine Yang Divine Palace and the Divine Inscription Palace are all descendants of the Imperial clan. The Sacred Master of Immortal Desolate said, "That's why I have some relationship with the Imperial clan. After all, I was created by the Nine Yang Divine Palace." The Imperial clans are indeed very powerful. The Nine Yang Divine Palace and the Divine Inscription Palace are both powerful forces in the Nine Desolate. The Nine Yang Divine Palace had already left the Nine Desolate, but the Divine Inscription Palace was still there. The Immortal Desolate's Divine Inscription Palace retreated into the Divine Inscription World. The families in the Inscription World should be the descendants of the Imperial clan. They all have the bloodline of the Imperial clan in their bodies. It's just that their bloodline isn't that pure. What about the Darkness Royal Race? Qin Yun asked. The Xieyang race and the Darkness Royal Race are in cahoots. The Darkness Royal Race came to the Immortal Desolate through the Heavenly Crater. The Heavenly Cavern was originally a passageway. However, it was blocked in order to seal the Imperial clan. The Immortal Desolate Sacred Master said, "The Imperial clan Divine Palace flew out of the Heavenly Cavern, and the passageway is clear." This is similar to what Qin Yun guessed. The Darkness Royal Race and the Xieyang race are the same race. The Xieyang race being able to create those Xie suns was most likely related to the Dark race. The goal of the Dark Royal Race is to control the Nine Suns, and the Nine Desolate is the territory of the Imperial clan. That is why these two powers have been at odds for so many years. The immortal desolate sacred master said again, Chin Brat, if the imperial clan invites you to a meeting, you must not attend. Of course, they won't be able to find you. I know. Chin Yun sighed lightly. This imperial clan is truly a colossus. The immortal desolate sacred master nodded and said, That's right, so you must be careful. The divine inscription palace and the dragon race under the banner of the imperial clan are both very powerful. The dragons of the dragon race are all loyal and devoted to the imperial clan. I know that. Chin Yun originally thought that his relationship with the Red Sun Dragon Mother is pretty good. He even saved the dragon race warriors before, so he felt that his relationship with the dragon race is very good. But now it seems that if he and the imperial clan were to oppose each other, the dragon race would most likely stand on the imperial clan side. Now, it would be best for Chin Yun to disappear and secretly develop. Let his inscription gate become stronger and then go out to wander. Otherwise, if he was targeted by the imperial clan, it would be very dangerous. With the Sun Soul in his hands, he is definitely the #1 target of the Dark Royal race. Furthermore, there is also the Nine Suns sect. If he was truly targeted by the imperial clan and the Dark Royal race, it would be difficult for Chin Yun to survive in the Immortal Desolate. The Immortal Desolate Sacred Master said with a smile, Chin Brat, don't panic. You are after all the king of the gods. The sun god's divine position is still in your hands. So what? The divine position is also related to the imperial clan. They might be able to take it back. Chin Yun shook his head and sighed. That's impossible. The imperial clan is still unable to command the gods of the divine desolate. The Nine Yang divine palace left the Nine Desolate and handed everything over to the gods of the divine desolate. The gods of the divine desolate once protected the Nine Desolate for a very long time. No one can take back their divine position. Chin Brat, you might not know this, but no one can interfere with the operation of the Nine Desolate. The Nine Suns, Nine Desolate, and the divine position are all one and are controlled by the power of nature. The immortal desolate sacred master's words made Chin Yun think of many things. For example, the Nine Suns falling down to destroy the world is a kind of self-protection method to not be controlled by evil forces. Did you find a rather special dragon at the bottom of the heavenly crater? Chin Yun recalled the floating cloud heavenly seal's dragon and hastily asked, Special dragon? I didn't find it. There are too many dragons in the dragon race. They are densely packed and messy. Moreover, we are fighting with the Dark Royal race at the bottom of the heavenly crater. It is very big. I only saw a small portion of the dragons. Immortal Desolate Sacred Master said, The dragon I am looking for is not a dragon from the dragon race. Chin Yun said again, Not a dragon from the dragon race? Dragons belong to the dragon race. The Immortal Desolate Sacred Master said, Even mixed blood dragon beasts belong to the dragon race. For example, dragon tiger, dragon eagle, dragon wolf, they all obey the orders of the dragon race. Chin Yun has never seen the floating cloud heavenly seal's dragon, so he has no way to describe it. He is also very puzzled as to why the head of the floating cloud heavenly seal is a dragon that is running all over the place. Brat Chin, you better not expose the fact that you are the reincarnation of the sun god. Don't let the imperial race know. The immortal desolate sacred master warned. Your deity position is the deity position of the king of gods. It is the most awesome thing in the Nine Desolate. Really? How come I didn't discover it? Chin Yun looked left and right. He feels that it is just a small statue. There is nothing special about it. That is because your level is not high enough. Wait until your level is high enough. You will know how awesome the god position is. Immortal Desolate Sacred Master said with smile. Enough talking. I want to go eat and drink. Chin Yun curled his lips and said, You damned head. Why are you eating? Although I am refined, I also have a sense of taste. Eating delicacies is a kind of enjoyment. You don't understand. Immortal Desolate Sacred Master finished speaking and then cut off the connection. Chin Yun let out a long sigh. I don't know if the appearance of the imperial race is a good or bad thing. My dragon is inside the Imperial Race Divine Palace. If this guy doesn't want to follow me, what should I do? It is a very important part of my floating cloud heavenly seal. Old uncle, boss uncle, I have something to talk to you about. Shimin Dazhuang shouted from outside. Qin Yun immediately walked out of the floating cloud pagoda and asked, Dazhuang, what's the matter? I have to leave for a while. My master is looking for me, for an urgent matter. Shimin Dazhuang said with sad expression. Your master? Qin Yun said with smile. If you didn't mention it, I wouldn't have remembered. Your master is Tian Dao Zi, right? Tian Dao Zi inside the heavenly law altar is also a very mysterious guy. Shimin Dazhuang nodded his head, curled his lips, and said, Master said that he moved the heavenly law altar to the heavenly province and is now heading towards the heavenly crater. You want me to go accompany him? Then go, be together with him, and broaden your knowledge, Qin Yun said with smile. He is also secretly amazed that Tian Daozi also wants to go to the Imperial Race Divine Palace above the heavenly crater. I am afraid that old bastard will trap me again and make me comprehend that damned heavenly Tao. Boss, you are the best. I love Inscription Gate the most. Shimin Dazhuang said. Dazhuang, I have a very difficult mission for you. Qin Yun patted Shimin Dazhuang's shoulder and said, Go with your master. You should be able to reach the Imperial Race Divine Palace. Help me inquire about a floating cloud heavenly seal dragon. After this matter is done, I will not treat you unfairly. Is it very important? Shimin Dazhuang asked. Very important. Qin Yun solemnly nodded. All right, but you must promise me that you will bring that girl Shimin Qinglian to Inscription Gate. Shimin Dazhuang said. Why? Qin Yun felt a headache just thinking about this female hoodlum. That girl Qinglian has mastered a part of the Titan God Totem. Adding the part one have mastered, it will be complete. This way, our Inscription Gate will have complete Titan God Totem. Shimin Dazhuang said with mischievous smile. Dazhuang, selling out your family like this is not very good. Qin Yun feels that this is somewhat inappropriate. It doesn't matter. I can't inherit Shimin family's patriarch position anyways. Selling out is selling out. Shimin Dazhuang waved his hand and said with smile. Why? Isn't your father Tai Dan the patriarch? Qin Yun said. Because all the elders of the family oppose me inheriting the patriarch position. Many people reject me. Shimin Dazhuang said in a very bad mood. Shimin Dazhuang used Pippi Pig's smelly fart to insult people all day long, yet he was only rejected. He was not beaten to death. It can be seen how benevolent Shimin family people are. All right, I will recruit Qinglian. You can rest assured and go find that swindler Tian Dao Zi. Remember the mission I gave you. Qin Yun also agreed to Shimin Dazhuang's request. Chapter 1689. Chaos in Divine Desolate Qin Yun warned Shimin Dazhuang again, telling him to go to the Emperor Race Divine Palace. As long as he sees those dragons, he should say that they are seal-head dragons and pay attention to their reaction. After Shimin Dazhuang memorized it, he told Qin Yun about Shimin Qinglian and warned him to bring Shimin Qinglian to the Divine Inscription Mountain. Shimin Dazhuang left with Pippi Pig. His Pippi Pig is very strong, and after Mo evolved its runes, it became even more powerful. Even a mountain god is shouting that he is invincible. Pippi Pig is following him. Shimin Dazhuang is very safe by himself. If he encounters an immortal emperor, Pippi Pig will release a fart and run away. After Shimin Dazhuang left, Qin Yun returned to the floating cloud pagoda. Other people of the Inscription Gate are busy with their own matters. Bai Zhe already left to meet other inscription beasts because Qin Yun told them to collect dragon heavenly runes. Inscription beasts with dragon heavenly runes are all very strong dragons. Dragon race has so many dragons, but only a few have dragon heavenly runes. Yet Azure Dragon has it. It is clear that dragon heavenly runes are very rare. Collecting complete 9 dragon heavenly runes will be very beneficial to the Inscription Gate. When setting up a formation, adding 9 dragon heavenly runes will make it even more powerful, especially when setting up a killing formation. After arriving at the 20th floor, Qin Yun took out the large golden devil horn. Evil God, how is the situation in Divine Desolate? Qin Yun asked. Don't talk about it. Those damn dark royal race and emperor race are fighting. We are the fish in the moat. Evil God sighed and said, What? Is the battle intense? Qin Yun asked in amazement. Divine Desolate's dark royal race and emperor race are much more ferocious than immortal desolates. They're actually fighting. Of course it's intense. We gods with divine position can only stand on the emperor race's side. Evil God said, All right, I won't bother you anymore. Be careful, don't die. When I go to Divine Desolate, I will come find you to eat and drink. Qin Yun said with smile, I won't die. Don't look down on me. Evil God curled his lips and said. Qin Yun stored away the devil horn, then took out the nether spirit's sacred blade and shouted towards the altar, Big Sister Star God. Star God did not immediately appear. Qin Yun shouted a few times and waited for a while. Only then did the bewitching and enchanting Star God appear on the altar. She was wearing a set of battle armor, and her hair was a little messy. What happened? Qin Yun said in astonishment. Was there a battle just now? The Star God nodded his head and said that whatever Dark Royal Clan and Emperor Clan, you should have seen them in the Immortal Desolate, right? I fought with people from Dark Royal Race. I haven't met people from Emperor Race, and I don't want to meet them. Qin Yun said. The Star God sighed. The Divine Wasteland is in chaos right now, and is undergoing a great reshuffle. I took advantage of their chaotic battle to go in and reap some benefits. Qin Yun said with a smile, Did you get anything? The Star God shook his head and said with a smile, The Dark Royalty and Emperor clans are not easy to deal with. I was targeted by the experts of the Dark Royal family. Fortunately, I ran away quickly, but it doesn't matter, there will be plenty of opportunities. Big Sister Star God, I will sacrifice a wave of souls for you. Qin Yun controlled the Nether Spirit's sacred blade and released the collected souls. At the same time, he informed the Star God of the situation in the Immortal Desolate. After the Star God heard this, she was also very worried for Qin Yun. She warned, Xiao Yun, you must hide your son's soul well. Whether it is the Dark Royal race or the Emperor race, they all want the Sun Soul. They're all very powerful races. Why do they keep staring at my Sun Soul? Qin Yun said helplessly. The Sun Soul of the Nine Suns is very rare. Although it can be reborn after being obtained by someone, the Sun Soul does not often fall into the Nine Desolate. If the Sun Soul falls into the Nine Desolate and is not obtained by anyone, it will return to the sun when the sun is reborn. The Star God said. Qin Yun understood. The Nine Desolate had experienced many eras, but not many people had obtained the Sun Soul. And it was extremely rare for a person to possess 3 Sun Souls. In addition, there was also the Nine Sun Divine Spirit. That was something comparable to the Sun Soul. Qin Yun had obtained the Nine Sun Divine Spirit for so long, but he had yet to unleash the true power of the Nine Sun Divine Spirit. He did not even know how strong the Nine Sun Divine Spirit was. However, it was definitely a very powerful thing. After the Star God absorbed the remnant soul of Qin Yun's death sacrifice, she said with a satisfied smile, Little brother Xiao Yun is so good, always thinking about me. With the appearance of the Emperor race and the Dark Royal race, I can obtain quite a few good things. Next time, I'll send you some good things. Qin Yun nodded and said, The core fragment from before was very useful. It would be great if there were more. I'll try my best to get more for you. The Star God said, There are still core fragments in the Divine Desolate. I'll think of a way to collect more for you. Sister Star God, what's going on with the Dark Royal race? Qin Yun asked. They seem to be very strong. I don't have much information at the moment. I only know that the Dark Royal race and the Emperor race appeared in the Nine Desolate during the Imperial race era. The Star God said, The Emperor race is a righteous faction and the Dark Royal race is an evil faction. However, the bloodlines in their bodies have something in common. This is great. The Emperor race and the Dark Royal race will definitely fight to the death in the various desolate lands. Qin Yun shook his head and said, in order to become stronger, they will definitely plunder resources everywhere. Qin Yun is very worried that his divine inscription mountain will be targeted. The potential of that divine inscription mountain is very great and can grow all kinds of formidable divine fruits. Especially now, it can grow sacred mysterious silver crystal fruit and instant space sacred iron fruit. This is simply heaven-defying. Xiaoyun, I'll go out and fish first. Kiss me goodbye. The star god smiled charmingly, made a kissing gesture towards Qin Yun, and then disappeared. Qin Yun counted the number of core fragments he has left. There are still 5,000. Always using core fragments is not the way, Qin Yun said with frown. I need to quickly cultivate my own sun. Qin Yun also doesn't know how to quickly cultivate his own Sunday. He took out the sun-suppressing divine arrow and looked at the runes on it in a daze, trying to sense the things inside. They all cultivated sun core. Why can't I? Qin Yun very much hopes that his sun-suppressing divine arrow can come back to life. After all, it is a very powerful divine weapon. He worked hard for 2 days, but made no progress at all. Xiao Yuanmei also returned. Yuanmei, where are Sister Linglong and others? Qin Yun saw that Xiao Yuanmei returned on her own and asked with frown. They are not in the Guanghan Palace. Xiao Yuanmei puffed up her cheeks and said, Brother, I was a bit late. They are already on their way to the Emperor Race Divine Palace. Why are they going to the Emperor Race Divine Palace? Qin Yun said in amazement. They're going to collect runes. Sister Shuru, Jingming, and others are also going. Xiao Yuanmei stamped her foot and pouted coquettishly. That Emperor Race Divine Palace is really... Qin Yun caressed her face and said with smile, It's fine. Wait for them to come back before we begin. Mountain God said, 3. Our divine inscription mountain can't be too close to the Emperor Race. If they know our secret, those guys will definitely keep an eye on us. Xiao Yuanmei said, Oh, that's right. I saw Big Sister in the Guanghan Palace. Yuelan is in the Guanghan Palace? She returned. Qin Yun very happily said, Where is Sister Kiru? Sister Kiru and Big Sister Master are together. I don't know what they are doing. In short, Big Sister, Yu Shaoling, and Big Sister, ye have all returned. Xiao Yuanmei said. Qin Yun pinched her face and said with smile, Then why didn't you let Yuelan come find me? Big Sister is resting in the Guanghan Palace. She said she will come find you as soon as possible. Xiao Yuanmei said with smile, Brother, Big Sister is in a very good mood. She also wants to see you very much. I will wait for her. Qin Yun entered the floating cloud pagoda and continued researching sun-suppressing divine arrow. He also hopes that Xiao Yuelan will come quickly. He wants to ask her how she cultivated sun core, and then conveniently ask about Yao Fong. Yao Fong's avatar Lu Yu Shuyan has gone to Divine Desolate. Divine Desolate is in chaos now. It makes him very worried. Moreover, he wants to know whether or not Yao Fong has changed. How is her cultivation of 9 Sun World Extermination Scripture? Qin Yun stayed inside the floating cloud pagoda for half a day. Xiao Yuelan also arrived. Xiao Yuelan came here on her own. Xiao Yuanmei gave her teleportation talisman and soul-chasing talisman to find Divine Inscription Mountain. Qin Yun walked out of the floating cloud pagoda and saw Xiao Yuelan holding a fruit in her hand and eating it. She is wearing a simple and elegant white dress. Her high ponytail hair makes her look fresh and pretty. After eating the delicious fruit, her face is filled with a sweet smile. She is so happy that she squinted her eyes and laughed lightly. Big Sister Yuelan, there's juice here, drink it. Xiao Yingying brought over a large cup of juice and handed it over to Xiao Yuelan. Sister, I am going out to patrol. Xiao Yuanmei is riding a very large divine bee. She said with charming smile, I am leaving. Xiao Yuelan saw Qin Yun walk over. She also handed over the half-drunk juice to Qin Yun and drank a mouthful. After Qin Yun drank a mouthful, he took a bite of the fruit in her hand and said with smile, Yuelan, I don't think I have seen you enjoy delicious food. You also seem to like eating. Xiao Yun, although I am your wife, you and I have not been together for a long time, so you don't completely understand me. Xiao Yuelon said with light smile. Xiao Yingying is busy with her matters. She wants to learn inscription from Xiao Hua. As for Zi Qingsheng and Shui Tianzi, they are helping Xiao Hua and Xiao Yingying refine materials. They are very proficient in refining materials. Yao Feng taught them before. Later on, they went to the Guanghan Palace and often hung out with Jian Linglong and the others. Qin Yun pulled Xiao Yuelon into the floating cloud pagoda and arrived at the 20th floor. There's so many delicious things in this place. No wonder that little girl Yuan Mei doesn't want to leave. After Xiao Yuelon finished drinking and eating, she praised with a smile and said, "The fruit and juice are very sweet. Your mouth was originally very sweet. Now it must be even sweeter. Come, let me kiss you." Qin Yun hugged Xiao Yuelon and said with mischievous smile, "I will kiss you." Xiao Yuelon smiled and directly kissed Qin Yun. The young husband and wife affectionately kissed each other for a while. They happily hugged each other, lying on the same bed and saying small words of love. Chapter 1690. 1690 Chapter 1690 Armament Divine Mountain Wind. Qin Yun saw Yu Shaoling, this sun fairy. He knew that she is a rogue fairy. Back then, he was almost taken by Yu Shaoling. Of course not. I have always been like this. Xiao Yuelon gently patted Qin Yun's cheek and said with a smile, "Xiao Yun, you didn't use the memories of your previous life. You naturally don't know what I am like." Qin Yun curled his lips, pinched Xiao Yuelon's thigh, and scolded, "Bullying me for not awakening my memories. You are bad. Xiao Yun, do you want to try and see if you're cursed like your previous life in this life?" Xiao Yuelon's beautiful eyes flashed with a hint of flirtatious charm. It is very provocative. Qin Yun's previous life was cursed. He could not have a wedding night with a woman. He could not even kiss a woman. Therefore, he lived for a long time in his previous life, and even when he died, he maintained his virginity. It was a great tragedy. Can I do it now? Qin Yun is somewhat excited. Why not? Today, no matter what happens, it can't stop us husband and wife from having our wedding night. Xiao Yuelon smiled tenderly. She tore off Qin Yun's clothes and slowly took off her outer clothes. Ling Yun is extremely nervous at this moment. She has been waiting for this moment for a long time. She is the same as Qin Yun. She doesn't dare to breathe loudly. Xiao Yuelon looked at Qin Yun affectionately. The usually ice-cold and murderous, which is now gentle and charming. This made Qin Yun love this slightly mysterious wife even more. "Yuelon, I love you." Qin Yun hugged Xiao Yuelon and said with a deep smile, "Xiao Yun, from today onwards, you are my real husband." Xiao Yuelon smiled slightly. "Husband, my wife, I will eat you today." The 20th floor of the floating cloud pagoda is suddenly filled with a strong aura of love. The young couple has experienced 2 lives and lived and died together. At this moment, it is finally their wedding night. Half a day later, Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon are soaking in the bath. That's great. The vicious curse from my previous life didn't follow me in this life, Qin Yun said with a silly smile. As a husband for the first time, he is also very happy. He has never experienced such a beautiful feeling. Xiao Yuelon said with a smile, "Do you feel that you suffered a lot in the past? I heard that you have many opportunities to interact with those beauties." "Of course not. You are my wife, but we have not consummated our marriage. I have always felt very guilty," Qin Yun said with a smile. "Yuelon, I am a good person. Scoundrel just now. So bad." Xiao Yuelon rebuked Qin Yun and then giggled. "You don't know anything. You don't understand either, yet you're still laughing at me." Qin Yun reached out and pinched Xiao Yuelon's face as he giggled. Qin Yun suddenly took out the sun-suppressing divine arrow and said, "Yuelon, my sun-suppressing divine arrow is still dead. What about yours?" Xiao Yuelon's sun-suppressing divine arrow is red, and it carries a dense killing intent. At this moment, she also took it out. It flickered with a red light, as if it was filled with a very strong energy. "Xiao Yun, you actually didn't cultivate the heart of the sun." Xiao Yuelon is somewhat shocked. "I can't cultivate it." Qin Yun sighed and said, "How do you cultivate it?" Soon after, Xiao Yuan talked about how she cultivated the heart of the sun. It sounds very simple. She just had to comprehend the sun-suppressing divine arrow and then follow the guidance of the sun-suppressing divine arrow and naturally cultivate it. Damn it, I worked so hard for so long, but the sun-suppressing divine arrow didn't guide me. Qinyan cursed in low voice. Could it be that the time is not ripe? Xiao Yuan said with frown. Xiao Yun, next time you see Sister Yang, ask her what's going on. She understands these things better. Speaking of Yang Shuriwei, Qinyan recalled something and said, Yuan, Sister Yang cultivated the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra with me and used that divine fusion technique. That is the second level of the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra. Xiao Yuan smiled naughtily. There's still the third level. It is too. Hee. Qinyan also suddenly understood what the third level is. Yuan, when you were with Sister Yao Fong, did she have any other reaction? Qinyan asked. No, it's still the same as before. Xiao Yuan thought for a moment, then shook her head and said, Why are you asking this? Soon after, Qinyan and Xiao Yuan talked about Lu Yu's Shuyan matter. After Xiao Yuan finished listening, her expression is calm. Qinyan caressed her face and said, Yuan, you and Sister Yao Fong seem to have multifaceted personalities. You two are very similar. You can't be Sister Yao Fong's avatar, right? Of course I am not. Xiao Yuan leaned on Qinyan's shoulder, gently stirred the water in the bath, and said, Xiao Yun, you should be able to guess that Sister Yao Fong has God position. Qinyan hugged the beauty in the water and nodded. She can create avatars. She must have God position. That's why I think you and Yuan are her avatars. She is Slaughter God, Xiao Yuan said, and me and Yuan are her disciples. In order to let us not die and reincarnate, she gave me and Yuan one soul and one spirit. You and Yuan both have one soul and one spirit? Qinyan said in shock. And she temporarily placed us in our souls, raised us and accepted us as disciples. Xiao Yuan said, She didn't let me tell you these things. Why? Qinyan said with frown. Why don't you guess? Xiao Yuan said with charming smile. You are my little husband. That's why I told you. Qinyan rubbed her face and said, You hid it from me for so long, truly. Xiao Yuan stuck out her tongue and said with smile, Little husband, you must promise me not to tell Sister Yao Fong about this. I won't tell her. You are my little wife, I promise you. Qinyan kissed Xiao Yuan's forehead and said with smile, Then is she Yao Fong, Fong Yue Yao, or Lu Yu Shuyan? If you want to call her Sister Yao Fong, call her Sister Yao Fong. If you want to call her Lu Yu Shuyan, call her Lu Yu Shuyan. She's the same person anyway. Xiao Yuan giggled and said, Little wife, can you tell little husband why Sister Yao Fong told you to hide it from me? Qinyan is very curious and asked with smile. I also don't know. Xiao Yuan said, but I suspect that this is related to your dispute in Divine Desolate. Big Sister Master and Sister Kiru have known each other for a long time. Big Sister Master calls Sister Kiru Xiaoro. Their relationship is very good, and Sister Kiru is Moon God. Qinyan carefully thought about it and said with nod, They must have had a dispute with my King of Gods in Divine Desolate. Could it be that I bullied her in Divine Desolate? Don't say any more. Big Sister Master doesn't hate you anymore. Xiao Yuan said with a naughty smile. Do you want me to help you test her and see how she feels about you? Little wife, don't cause trouble for me. Qinyan pinched her nose. I am your first wife. Big Sister Master might become your second wife in the future. Of course I have to check. Xiao Yuan giggled and said, Little husband, you know so many beauties, but you don't want them. I want them. Qinyan is somewhat speechless and said, When you were with Sister Kiru and the others, did you see the heaven-leaping shuttle? Did Sister Kiru obtain Nether Sun spirits? Qinyan has 2 Nether Sun spirits. I found 2 Nether Sun spirits. Sister Kiru said that there is a problem with those 2 Nether Sun spirits. They need to be stabilized in her 9 Divine Spirit for a period of time before they can be given to you. Sister Kiru and Big Sister Master will now go and find your heaven-leaping shuttle together. That place is very dangerous. They won't let us go. Xiao Yuelon said. What about little Nian Yun? Qin Yun asked. Little Nian Yun and Sister Kiru are together. They are very awesome, especially when they fuse together. Their strength is very scary. Xiao Yuelon said with an envious expression. Having avatars is very good. Qin Yun also exclaimed in admiration again and again. Xiao Yun, how is the progress of your floating cloud heavenly seals dragon? Xiao Yuelon asked. A3. It's hard to explain in a few words. How did my floating cloud heavenly seal encounter such a dragon? It runs around blindly all day, causing me to have a hard time looking for it. Now, it is in some emperor race divine palace. Qin Yun shook his head and sighed. Xiao Yuelon said, It's fine. We will definitely find it. At that time, we will be going to Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. A3. Cloud Dragon Mountain Range might be targeted by Dark Royal Race. If Dark Royal Race is going to Cloud Dragon Mountain Range, will Emperor Race also go there? Qin Yun very worriedly said. That's for sure. Xiao Yuelon's expression turned cold and said, We must become stronger. Whoever dares to snatch the thing we are looking for will die. Qin Yun said, Yuelon, follow me for a period of time. If we cultivate together, we will become stronger even faster. All right. Xiao Yuelon nodded and said with smile, This way I can also protect you. However, I want you Xiaoling to follow me. If she is not with me for a day, she will be unhappy. That immoral elf. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, Yu Xiaoling is also very awesome. She is a sun elf. With her help, you might be able to cultivate sun core. Xiao Yuelon said, That's true. Qin Yun nodded. Xiao Yuelon left the bath and put on her clothes. Qin Yun combed her hair into a ponytail and then sent her out of the Divine Inscription Mountain to find Yu Xiaoling. Originally, he wanted Xiao Yuelon to call Yi Yaoshu along, but Yi Yaoshu also went to the Emperor Race Divine Palace. Qin Yun is inside the Divine Inscription Mountain. He is looking at the sun-suppressing Divine Arrow in his hand. He wants to quickly cultivate Sun Core. With the sun-suppressing Divine Arrow and 9 Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon, he will be able to deliver a fatal strike. Even if he is facing a slightly stronger opponent, he will still be able to kill them. Old Mountain, how is the defense of the Divine Inscription Mountain now? Can it withstand the attack of immortal emperors? Qin Yun asked, If those immortal emperor ancient city people attack me again, I will certainly be able to resist. As for those emperor race, I don't know. Mountain God said, The defense of the Divine Inscription Mountain is strong enough, but it doesn't have strong enough attack. Boss Sect Master, I think we can refine some weapons for this mountain. Xiao Hua said, Mountain God's attack can only collide and devour, but it can be easily avoided. If someone attacks the mountain and the Divine Inscription Mountain has an effective counterattack method, it will be able to beat up the attacker. How about we refine some cannons, or something that can spit fire, then make some formidable killing formations? Qin Yun said with smile. Chapter 1691. Darkness Attack. Divine Mountain itself is a very large energy source. It can provide an unending stream of energy. If there are many killing formations and all kinds of offensive weapons on the Divine Mountain, they can use the energy source of the Divine Mountain to burst out with very strong might. Even if they encounter a very strong person besieging them, not only can the Divine Mountain have very strong defense, it also has very strong counterattack power. The reason why the Divine Mountain was besieged by those immortal emperors before was because it didn't have enough powerful counterattack method. It had no choice but to flee. This is indeed a good idea, but can the equipment you refine deal with those powerful immortal emperors? Mountain God is also very happy. He said with smile, If it can kill those immortal emperors besieging them, then it will be invincible. This is hard to say. I have to carefully ponder over it. Qin Yun said with frown, Old Mountain, the energy released by this Divine Mountain needs to have immortal emperor power. I already have immortal emperor power, but it is not easy to use it. Mountain God said, I have devoured so many sacred mysterious silver crystals, plus I have devoured so many divine mountains. I have a lot of energy inside. What I need to do now is to let them evolve and become stronger. The existence of this divine mountain is very special. The energy stored inside is indeed very strong. However, the mountain god is unable to use it through the divine mountain. It is equivalent to a person with extremely high cultivation and formidable power, but without good martial skills, they are unable to dig out the greatest power. All right, then let's properly discuss this. Qinyan also took advantage of this moment to discuss with Mountain God and Xiao Hua what kind of things they should make to arm the divine mountain. Zi Qingsheng and Shui Tianzi are also listening from the side. When the time comes, they will also need to help refine some materials. They are not proficient in carving runes, but they are very proficient in refining materials. For example, refining formation pillars, making flag formations, and so on. This would be of great help. After discussion, they decided to refine 9 huge dragon cannons on the divine mountain. Dragon cannons can condense energy and shoot out. They can also be filled with refined, powerful artillery shells or shot out a large number of cannon arrows, and so on. Qinyan has a lot of holy oil. When a mountain god saw the holy oil, he is certain that after he eats it, he will be able to condense a holy oil spring inside the divine rune mountain. He can absorb the power of the sun or the sacred profound silver crystal fruit to continuously regenerate the holy oil. This way, the 9 dragon cannons can absorb the holy oil and combine it with the formidable immortal emperor power to produce a very strong power. It could even spew out very strong flames. To withstand an extremely strong power, you need at least holy level materials, right? Zi Qingshang said, 9 giant dragon cannons. This requires a lot of holy level materials. Qinyan said with smile, that is not a problem. The biggest problem is how to refine it. This is a very large project. We don't have enough manpower. Xiao Hua said, let's wait for Old Wei and Little Ding to come over first. They are both immortal emperors. With their participation, it should be easier. Shui Tianzi said, Old Xiao, I heard that you can go to the inscription world. Do you want to ask someone from the inscription world for help? Xiao Hua shook his head and said, I've considered it before, but the inscription world itself is the divine inscription palace, and the relationship between the divine inscription palace and the imperial clan is very good. So I'm not at ease. If the people of the inscription world were to target Qin Yun's Sun Soul and call the people from the imperial clan over, they would be in trouble. We have to use our own people to be at ease. Zi Qingshang said, I wonder if the imperial clan has any plans to deal with the divine inscription mountain. Don't worry, even if they want to deal with us, it won't be that easy. The mountain god laughed and said, I have become very strong now. If the divine inscription mountain also has equipment, I can let them experience my invincible might. Qinyan said, all of you wait here. He ran into the floating cloud pagoda and contacted the star god. Because the star god has received many sacrifices and obtained a large amount of sacrificial power, she has become stronger and stronger. In addition, there are many sun divine stones in the divine desolate, so she can obtain many good things. She is one of the top gods. Even though her enemies are all over the divine desolate, she can still obtain many resources. Qin Yun called out to the small and exquisite star god altar. After waiting for more than 4 hours, the star god finally responded. After the star god appeared, the charming and moving her looked slightly tired, making her look even more miserable and moving. Qin Yun could not help but reach out to fiddle with her somewhat messy hair. However, he could not touch it because it was only the illusory image of the star god. Sister Star God, are you injured? Qin Yun asked anxiously when he saw that the red armor on the star god's body was somewhat damaged. No, I just met some strong fellows. The star god smiled and said, Xiao Yun, what's the urgent matter? I need some materials. Qin Yun told the star god about the 9 great dragon cannons he wanted to refine. After the star god heard this, she said, the reason you are refining these things is to unearth the power of the divine inscription mountain. And if the divine inscription mountain can continue to evolve, it might even be able to come to the divine desolate in the future. Sister Star God, do you have any suggestions? Qin Yun asked. My suggestion is that when refining the equipment of the divine inscription mountain, the materials used must be divine level. If it's only saint level, then it won't take long to go to the sacred desolate, the star god said. But this requires a lot of divine level materials. Qin Yun sighed and said, moreover, it's also very difficult for us to deal with divine level materials. I'll help you guys. The star god smiled and said, I fished up a lot of good things in the chaotic battle. Really? What did you get? Qin Yun asked in pleasant surprise. The corpses of some divine level beasts. There are also many damaged weapons. Although those weapons are damaged and they're not good quality divine weapons, they're still very powerful for you guys. After melting them, you can use them to make divine level cannons. The star god laughed. That's great. Sister Star God, you've helped us a lot. Qin Yun is very happy. Originally, he only planned to find the star god to get some divine iron powder. I also picked up a lot of corpses of divine level beasts. Those corpses and whatnot should be of great use to you guys. The star god said again. After Qin Yun was happy, he asked worriedly, then how we get them? It won't be easy to get so many things, right? Didn't the space god open a special spatial passageway for me? I'll put those things into my storage magic tool, and then send my storage magic tool to you. The star god said. The space god is now helping the imperial race in battle. The other gods are very busy. I can take advantage of this time to get more things for you. Normally, when a large amount of things were transmitted from the divine desolate to the lower realms, it would be sent by many powerful gods, and the Nine Suns sects would also know. However, a great war has broken out in the divine desolate. The imperial race and the dark royal race are fighting very fiercely. They simply can't care about these things. All right, Qin Yun knew that the star god is very resourceful. Xiao Yun, wait a bit longer. I'll go get 9 divine level dragon corpses. When the time comes, I'll directly refine the dragon heads into cannons. It might be better, the star god said with a smile. I'll rest first. Wait for my news. The dragons of the divine desolate are all divine level. If he could get those huge dragon heads to use as dragon cannons, he wouldn't need to refine them at all. He would just need to carve runes on them. Qin Yun was worried about how to refine the cannon barrel, but after contacting the star god, he felt that it was not a problem at all. Qin Yun walked out of the floating cloud pagoda in an extremely good mood. Boss, did you contact the star god? Xiao Hua asked. He knows that Qin Yun is following the star god. And there's good news. The star god said that it will be of great help to us. When the time comes, we might not even need to refine those cannons. Qin Yun chuckled and said, we only need to set up killing formations and defensive formations. Shui Tianzi said with a smile, refining formation pillars and formation flags is relatively easy. Just as Qin Yun's mood is extremely good, Xiao Yueme flew back in panic. The divine beast she is riding on has a few broken legs. What's wrong? Qin Yun asked anxiously. Xieyang race? No, it's the dark royal race. They found us. I don't know how they found us. They're surrounding us from all directions. Xiao Yueme said anxiously. Qin Yun and company's expression immediately became gloomy. Yueme, send a message to Yuelon. Tell her not to come for now. I'll let her come after seeing the situation. Qin Yun said. All right. Xiao Yueme nodded. Old Xiao, send a message to Xiao Lu and others. Tell them not to rush to Divine Inscription Mountain. Wait until we know how many Dark Royal Race people are here. Then we will contact them. Qin Yun said to Xiao Hua. Lu Jiayin went to find Wei Zhongjing and Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror. And Little Black Donkey went to find Black Rat by Zay and told them not to come back for now. If the Dark Royal Race attack the mountain and they come back, they will have to face the Dark Royal Race. Maybe they will be besieged. Qin Yun also ordered Little Black Donkey to go to Nether Sect and asked them to scout for information about the Dark Royal Race. Mountain God said, Boss, when can I start moving the Divine Mountain? Xiao Yueme hastily returned after sending the message to Xiao Yuelon. Brother, there are many Dark Royal Race people. There are many giant lizard dragons in the sky and dark beasts and dark warriors on the ground. Xiao Yueme very angrily said, These bastards are truly repulsive. Old Mountain, you can start running. It would be best if they can sense the Divine Mountain. We want them to keep chasing and attacking. We need to take advantage of this time to refine counterattack equipment and then kill them all, Qin Yun said. With the help of Star God, Qin Yun is confident that he can quickly refine a powerful counterattack equipment and let the Divine Mountain possess a powerful weapon. All right, Mountain God nodded and immediately controlled the Divine Mountain to move. The Divine Mountain is not moving horizontally on the ground. Rather, it suddenly moved several 10,000 meters in an instant. This way, the Dark Royal race can sense it one after another. Qin Yun took out Saint Oil and other materials and said, "Start refining formation pillars and flags. Not only we want to exterminate these bastards who are besieging us, we also want to show the Dark Royal race some color and let them feel the might of our inscription gate." Chapter 1692. Black Tortoise Great Formation. Qin Yun and the others are very cautious towards the Emperor race. After all, their Divine Inscription Mountain is a very special existence in Immortal Desolate. Everyone knows that Divine Inscription Mountain can devour other Divine Mountains to quickly evolve. This kind of Divine Mountain is also something that every faction wants to occupy. Furthermore, Divine Inscription Mountain can grow a large number of divine fruits. Moreover, Qin Yun is the master of Divine Inscription Mountain. He already has Sun Soul, so he is even more important. Now that Emperor Race is mentioned, Qin Yun is also very worried. Because Emperor Race is very friendly with all the major factions, for example, Guanghan Palace, Nether Sect, Immortal Desolate Holy Palace. And these factions have very good relationship with him. Dark Royal Race came to find us first. I wonder if Emperor Race will come. Zi Qinshang said, "Even if Emperor Race comes, what can they do? It is impossible for them to touch Divine Inscription Mountain." Xiao Yuemei said with smile, "What kind of storm has Divine Inscription Mountain not seen before? We are not afraid of Emperor Race." It is impossible to say that they are not afraid because Emperor Race can mobilize the entire dragon race. Qin Yun said, "We are still safe now. We will know the attitude of Emperor Race very soon. Guanghan Palace and Nether Sect will definitely stand on Divine Inscription Mountain's side. Emperor Race has just broken the seal. Moreover, they will have to face the powerful Dark Royal Race. They will definitely not want to provoke us." Shui Tianzi said. Qin Yun nodded. He also feels the same way. Even if Emperor Race really wants his Sun Soul, if they attack now, they will have to consider the consequences. Qin Yun destroyed 2 sun altars and took down Xieyang. Although he provoked many enemies, he has now intimidated many factions. For example, the Immortal Emperor Ancient City was almost destroyed because they attacked Divine Inscription Mountain. Qin Yun's decision to attack the Immortal Emperor Ancient City is very correct. It will be a great deterrent. He returned to Floating Cloud Pagoda, took out his divine position, and contacted Immortal Desolate Sacred Master. Not long after, he contacted Immortal Desolate Sacred Master. "It is already dark. Immortal Desolate Sacred Master should be resting. Are you still in the Emperor Race Divine Palace?" Qin Yun asked. "Yes." Immortal Desolate Sacred Master said with smile. "Qin Yun, Emperor Race Divine Palace had a meeting in the past 2 days. This is also what Qin Yun wants to know." "What did they say?" asked Qin Yun anxiously. Although the Emperor clan broke the seal, they did not completely suppress the Dark Royalty. The Dark King race escaped through the cracks in the ground. The Immortal Desolate's Sacred Master said solemnly. In other words, many Dark Royal race people from the Immortal Desolate have come. Qin Yun said, "That's right. Even the Dark Royal race attacked my Divine Inscription Mountain. How did these guys find me?" "The Dark Royal family want to find you? It seems like they most likely want to obtain the Sun Soul." The Immortal Desolate Sacred Master exclaimed. "What about the Emperor clans? Do you have any designs on my Sun Soul?" Qin Yun asked. "Hard to say." The Sacred Master of the Immortal Desolate Land took a deep breath and sighed. "Half and half. There are also several factions within the imperial family. Some people want you to hand over your sun soul. Some want you to lend your sun soul to them. There are also some who don't want to provoke you. Then what was the result? Asked Qin Yun. It's hard to say. In short, there are people in the Emperor clan who want to snatch your sun soul. Be careful. The immortal, desolate, sacred master said. All right, help me find a special dragon related to my floating cloud, heavenly seal. Qin Yun told the immortal, desolate, sacred master about the situation of his floating cloud, heavenly seal. After the immortal, desolate, sacred master heard this, he said, "This is difficult. That dragon definitely doesn't want to go back." Why? Qin Yun asked. That's a living dragon. Don't tell me it will become a part of your floating cloud, heavenly seal, all day long? That's impossible. The immortal, desolate, sacred master laughed. In any case, if it was me, I definitely wouldn't do it. Help me find it, Qin Yun said. All right. The immortal, desolate, sacred master also agreed. Thank you first. Qin Yun said, I'm being watched by the Dark Royal race. I have to think of a way to get rid of these guys. The immortal, desolate, sacred master said, the Dark Royal race and the Imperial race have been fighting for a long time. The Imperial race's intention is to stop fighting with the Dark Royal race for a period of time and then develop their own strength. Let them. Anyways, as long as they provoke me, I will make them bleed. Qin Yun said, if they stop fighting, the Imperial race and the Dark Royal race will jointly establish the rules of Immortal Desolate, and everyone will have to abide by them. The Immortal Desolate Sacred Master said again, what about you? You're the Immortal Desolate Sacred Master. Are you just going to let them do whatever they want? Qin Yun curled his lips and said, I will be in charge of management. The Immortal Desolate Sacred Master said with mischievous smile, the Imperial race still gives me a lot of face. Up to you. After cutting off the connection, Qin Yun went out to refine formation pillars and flags with everyone. Xiao Yuanmei said, Brother, Little Black Donkey said that his Xian Wu totem is very strong, especially when used for defense. Is indeed very good. Qin Yun nodded. How about this? When we set up the defensive formation, we will use Xian Wu totem as the main. Xiao Yuanmei said. All right, but it will be best if we can transform this mountain into Xian Wu. Qin Yun looked at the mountain god and said with smile, Can you transform? Transform into that donkey? The mountain god said with disdainful expression, I won't transform. Of course not. Xiao Hua said with mischievous smile. Then he took out a portrait of a mighty giant tortoise and a large snake coiled around it. Xiao Yuanmei said, Old mountain, you can transform the inscription divine mountain into a large tortoise. The mountain god said somewhat unhappily, Large tortoise? This is not too good. Wouldn't it be a kind of turtle retreat? It doesn't matter as long as the defense is strong enough. It will be fine, Qin Yun said with smile. Wait until we kill them all. Let's see who will laugh at us for being a turtle. Indeed, we will surely kill those Dark Royal race bastards. Xiao Yuanmei said with mischievous smile. Old mountain, quickly start transforming. The mountain god can transform the inscription divine mountain, so he can only transform into a large tortoise. From outside, it looks like a small tortoise-shaped mountain. Naturally, this small mountain can travel through space. It will be very difficult for those lizard dragons to catch up to it. The mountain god is now controlling the inscription divine mountain to travel through space, letting those Dark Royal race bastards chase after it. Within the Immortal Desolate, only the Immortal Desolate Sacred Master can surpass the Immortal Emperor Realm. The others can only reach the Immortal Emperor Realm at most. With the inscription divine mountain's current defense, as long as it is not facing the Immortal Desolate Sacred Master, it can run away. Wait for Little Black Donkey to come back. I will make it the foundation of the Black Tortoise Great Formation. Qin Yun said with smile. We can't let this guy eat and drink for free. Xiao Yuanmei said, Brother, how did Little Black Donkey become like that? It doesn't look like a black tortoise at all. Who knows, after it comes back, it will have to work. Qin Yun shook his head and smiled, then released a large amount of saint oil to smelt all kinds of materials. 3 days passed by, and the little black donkey returned. He used the soul-chasing talisman to catch up to the inscription Divine Mountain. Seeing the inscription Divine Mountain transform into a tortoise, he felt a very familiar feeling. Old Mountain, you really know how to transform. You are truly invincible after transforming into this form. Little black donkey said with mischievous smile. Brother Donkey, they want to set up some black tortoise great formation to defend. Mountain God said, is that so? This is a very wise choice. My black tortoise great god's totem will be very useful. Little black donkey very happily laughed and said, with me, black tortoise great god, this great formation will surely become even stronger. Qin Yun said with smile, so you will become the foundation of the formation. When the great formation needs defense, you will release energy to make the black tortoise great formation even stronger. Little black donkey is somewhat unwilling and muttered, I'm a grand black tortoise great god. How can I do this kind of work? I am not tired, and I still have something to eat. Why not? Xiao Yuanmei said with charming smile. That's true. Little black donkey became very excited just thinking about having something to eat. There are also many formation pillars and flags. Qin Yun began carving black tortoise totems on them. When he is carving, he fused the needle spirit with the floating cloud divine needle. This way, he can carve the black tortoise totem, which will transform into a dragon, making it even more powerful. Since he has totem inscription spirit and beast king inscription spirit, the black tortoise totems he carved caused the little black donkey to become dumbstruck, especially when it saw the dragon transformation runes. It found it even more unbelievable, because the black tortoise totems carved by Qin Yun are much more powerful than the ones on its back. Qin Yun spent a few days to finally complete the formation. Then he handed over the formation pillars and formation flags to the mountain god. He asked him to place them in appropriate locations inside and outside the divine inscription mountain, and then connect them to the energy source inside the divine inscription mountain. This formation is also controlled by mountain god. When needed, little black donkey can join in and let the black tortoise great formation display even more powerful defense. The defensive formation is ready. Next is the killing formation and the counterattack dragon cannon. Mountain god said with mischievous smile. He secretly tested the black tortoise great formation and can feel that its defense is very strong. With a strong enough defense, Qin Yun will have enough confidence when facing Xieyang. His goal is to kill Xieyang. Xieyang can also travel through space. Moreover, the energy source inside him is very powerful. Inside his floating cloud pagoda, there's an energy source inside Xieyang. That energy source is what he needs to activate the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. Qin Yun entered the floating cloud pagoda and contacted Star God. Star God did not disappoint Qin Yun. He gave Qin Yun 10 God-level giant dragons, as well as many broken weapons and armors. All of them were made from God-level materials in the Divine Desolate. There are also many arrows and spears. This way, Qin Yun doesn't need to make those cannon arrows anymore. On the prairie inside the Divine Rune Mountain, there are 10 giant dragon corpses and a large pile of broken weapons from the Divine Desolate. This made Xiao Hua and the others dumbfounded. The giant dragon's body has been cut. Its head has been chopped off. It seems like it is a dragon from the Dark Royal race. Let's eat first. Little black donkey shouted excitedly. This is dragon meat from the Divine Desolate. Qin Yun immediately pulled him back and said with a smile, Can you roast this level of dragon meat? That's true. Boss, you are the best. You must have a way to roast this dragon meat. Little black donkey said anxiously. Chapter 1693. Strike again, Qin Yun shook his head with a smile and said, Of course I have a way. However, we can't do it now. Let's refine the dragon cannon first. After we get it out, we can have a feast. These words also stimulated the black donkey and the others. All of them were filled with vigor. Then, everyone started to tidy up the dragon heads. 9 dragon heads are enough. Qin Yun left one for himself. He wants to use it to strengthen the Nine Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon. However, he believed that even if the Nine Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon was fused with the dragon head, it would still require a very strong frost power to cool it down. As for the specifics, he had to discuss it with the Star God. Due to the lack of manpower, Qin Yun planned on contacting Black Rat by Zay to get them to return to help. Wei Zhongjing and demonic Mirror Immortal Emperor were also called over to help set up the killing formation. And Qin Yun is mainly responsible for carving runes on the huge dragon head. He needs to carve a lot of runes. First is the 9-Dragon Totem. Moreover, it is the 9-Dragon Totem rune for dragon transformation. Then he also needs to add the Sacred Fire Totem. The dragon head is very large, so there's no need to carve runes on it. However, because it is a god-level dragon head, it is very strenuous to carve it. If Qin Yun did not have many kinds of inscription spirits, it would be impossible for him to be qualified for such a difficult task. Although his progress is very slow, he is still continuing. All he needed now was time. In order to place these 9 dragon head cannons, the mountain god will have to make the divine inscription mountain very big. When needed, the 9 dragon head cannons could be extended out from the inner space and fired. A deity-level dragon head could withstand an even stronger explosion of energy. This determined that the power that could be unleashed would be even stronger. Although Qin Yun's 9 Heavens Dragon Lion Cannon is very strong, because of the materials used, it often overheats and has no choice but to cool down before it can be used. However, there was no need for this dragon head cannon. It was just that the dragon head cannon was too big, and the huge dragon head could not shrink. The dragon skull is very sturdy. Although only the skull is left, it is still very mighty and frightening, especially after the runes were carved on it. There's a very strong dragon aura. Everyone was busy setting up killing formations while Qin Yun was busy carving runes. The entire inscription gate was busy and moving about. They all wanted to teach the Dark Race royalty a lesson, so they worked very hard. Even if it was hard, they gritted their teeth and endured. Their enemies were not only the Dark Royalty, but also the Emperor clans. Some people in the Imperial clan expressed that to snatch Qin Yun's sun soul meant that they had to go against the inscription gate. Qin Yun was certain that sooner or later he would come into conflict with some people from the Imperial clans. As long as the inscription Divine Mountain had enough defensive and offensive methods, they wouldn't be afraid of the Imperial clan's attack. Xiao Yuan originally wanted to come, but in order to understand more about the Imperial race, she went to the Imperial Race Divine Palace with Yu Shaoling, the Sun Elf. The Imperial race is currently not on guard against the Guanghan Palace, so Xiao Yuan wants to take this opportunity to understand the Imperial race and prepare to clash with them in the future. Qin Yun would contact the Immortal Desolate Sacred Master from time to time. He did not receive much news because it was impossible for the Imperial family to tell the Immortal Desolate Sacred Master everything. The only thing they knew was that the Imperial clans and the Dark Royal clans had actually reached a tacit agreement to stop fighting for a period of time. They would discuss how to divide the Immortal Desolate. The big and small powers in the Immortal Desolate, when faced with the Emperor clans and Dark Royal clans, these two colossal beings, they could not say anything. So no one could say anything about how to divide it. Even if he was dissatisfied, he didn't dare to voice it out. What made Qin Yun somewhat surprised is that the Holy Sun ancient city has completely surrendered to the Imperial race and is now under their control. Although the Imperial race has the Dragon race and the Holy Sun ancient city joining them, the Dark Royal clan is not weak either. They originally had the Evil Sun race and then joined forces with many other powerful powers in the Immortal Desolate. Their overall strength is not weak either. Therefore, if these two colossal beings were to fight, it would definitely be as chaotic as the Divine Desolate. The reason why the Star God picked up so many good things in the Divine Desolate is because the Divine Desolate's Imperial race and the Dark Royal clan are fighting to the death. 3 months passed. During this period of time, there was no great battle between the Imperial race and the Dark Royal clan in the Immortal Desolate. Instead, there would be small-scale conflict from time to time. The immortal desolate is so peaceful, it made many people feel at ease. However, the matter of the divine inscription mountain being chased by the Dark Royal clan is something that the entire immortal desolate knows about. The divine inscription mountain teleported everywhere. It went to the Earth province and the Xian province. It was also encountered by many people. Every time they saw the divine inscription mountain, a large group of Dark Royal clan people would chase after them. Especially those thousands of giant lizard dragons. They're majestically flying high in the sky. Their bodies are releasing evil aura, giving rise to waves of anger in the sky. It is a very shocking scene. Jian Linglong, Lan Fengjin, and other female inscription masters who returned from the Divine Palace have been brought into the Divine Inscription Mountain. Yu Shetian and Lu Jingming have also been brought here. The reason they came here is to build the Magic Mirror Formation Foundation. This requires a large number of outstanding inscription masters. After Xiang Yalan and Nangong Shuru arrived, they studied the divine trees and divine fruits inside the divine mountain. Qinyan told them to move a few trees back to plant. Nangong Shuru used the sun-moon divine bowl to plant the mysterious sun god tree. It has already grown very well. The flowers that have condensed out look like a small sun. Since there are no results, Qinyan told Nangong Shuru to continue planting the sun god tree. Nangong Shuru is an inscription pill master, but she can also participate in building the Magic Mirror Formation Foundation. Qin Yun obtained many powerful space runes and totems from the space god. After Qin Yun explained them to Xiao Hua and the others, they were able to master them. Then they began constructing the Magic Mirror Formation Foundation together. The Magic Mirror Formation Foundation can not only cover the entire Immortal Desolate to transmit information, it can also transmit some things through the formation inside the Magic Mirror. Previously, the Magic Mirror could absorb immortal jade beads. Qinyan also wants to do the same. This way, he can control the transmission of information from the Magic Mirror and cause a lot of interference to the enemy. The 9 dragon cannons have already been refined. The mountain god is now familiarizing himself with them. He will need some time to adapt. And the little black donkey is also familiarizing himself with the black tortoise gray formation. The Magic Mirror Formation Foundation that Qin Yun wants to refine is also gradually on the right track. The core of the formation has been completed. Next, it will be a lot easier. He only needs some time to adjust the runes, check the errors, and then modify it. It took him more than 2 months to complete the core. Now he still needs some time to complete the details. Qin Yun asked Jian Linglong to bring back the Guanghan Palace's female inscription masters because the Guanghan Palace also needs to defend against the Dark Royal race's sneak attack. Qin Yun gave them some broken divine tools. They were picked up by Star God from the battlefield of Divine Desolate. They are also very useful things. Xiao Yuelan returned. She brought back the tall and enchanting Sun Fairy. Yu Xiaoling's head is full of golden hair. She is wearing a bright red long skirt. Her voluptuous body is completely covered up. After she arrived, Xiao Yueme pestered her to play with her. Xiao Yueme likes to play with fairies the most. She likes those fairies who have wings, for example Yu Shetian and those flying divine bees. After Xiao Yuelan returned, she said, "The Emperor race's attitude towards you is very vague. This is the same as Immortal Desolate's Sacred Master." Qinyan nodded. "Don't worry about them. Our current target is the Dark Royal race. These bastards have been chasing us for several months. They are truly not tired at all. Xiao Yun, the Dark Royal race's main camp is above the 2 CS Suns. In 3 days, the 2 CS Suns will fly to the Emperor Race Divine Palace. They want to discuss the matter of dividing the Immortal Desolate and sign a truce agreement." Xiao Yuelan said. "At that time, all the big shots of the major powers will go and participate." Qin Yun said with frown, "If it is decided that the Immortal Desolate will be controlled by the Dark Royal race and the Emperor race, what will my inscription, Divine Mountain, do?" Xiao Yuelan held Qin Yun's hand and said in grave tone, "Xiao Yun, the Emperor race and the Dark Royal race might join hands to deal with you. Everyone in the Immortal Desolate knows that you have 2 sun spirits in your hands. Sun spirits are also very important to the Emperor race. Yuan, how much do you know about the Emperor race after staying in the Emperor race divine palace? Qin Yun asked. There are 3 factions within the Emperor race. Because these 3 factions have different methods of nurturing their descendants, their characters are also different, so they often have differences. However, when faced with common interests, they will join hands. Xiao Yuan said. Then what do you think our inscription Divine Mountain should do? Qin Yun is in the 20th floor of the floating cloud pagoda, looking at his own divine position and walking back and forth. Xiao Yun, you are the sect master of the inscription gate. Xiao Yuan chuckled and said, how the inscription gate will go in the future, it will all depend on you. You are the sect master's wife. I also have to listen to your opinion. Qin Yun gently caressed Xiao Yuan's face and said with smile, although Yume is the grand elder, your decision as the sect master's wife is more important than hers. Xiao Yuan chuckled a few times and said, Xiao Yun, if it was me, I would take advantage of their negotiation to attack the Dark Royal race and give them a taste of my power. I think so too. Qin Yun rubbed his fist and said, right now, everyone in the Immortal Desolate is saying that the inscription Divine Mountain has turned into a turtle and is being chased all over the Immortal Desolate. Xiao Yuan said, then use action to prove that the inscription gate is not a turtle. Qin Yun said with smile, Yuan, I want to take down a Xieyang. I feel that only by doing this will we be able to intimidate the Imperial race and also teach the Dark Royal race a lesson. If you can do it, that would be the best. But isn't it very difficult? Xiao Yuan said. We will know after we try. Qin Yun said with smile. Then let's take action quickly. Xieyang is going to the Imperial race's divine palace. We will take this opportunity to attack them. Xiao Yuan said. Qin Yun walked out of the floating cloud pagoda and yelled at Mountain God, Old Mountain, how is the practice of the 9 dragon cannons? It's almost done. We can start actual combat now. Mountain God said with smile. Old Xiao, how many lizard dragons are there outside? Qin Yun asked. More than 1,000. 3,000 evil dragon warriors. 500 dark dragon warriors. Xiao Hua said. Qin Yun nodded, then looked at Mountain God and said, can we kill them all? Hearing Qin Yun's words, everyone in the inscription gate became extremely excited, because the inscription gate is about to attack. Yes, Mountain God laughed loudly and said, no problem at all. Then can we take down a Xieyang? Qin Yun asked again. Chapter 1694. The inscription gate shows its might. Qin Yun wanted to kill Xieyang. This was something he had wanted to do for a long time. Previously, the divine inscription mountain had been attacked by the evil Yang race. Fortunately, he was able to bring a large group of dragons from the dragon race over in time, causing the evil Yang race to suffer quite a bit. And now, the evil Sun race, led by the Dark Royal race, had launched such a large-scale attack on the divine inscription mountain in order to snatch the Sun's soul. Qin Yun had been secretly developing for a few months. Now was the time to counterattack. Xiao Hua said, Headmaster, what about us? Should we attack? He Shu, Bai Zhe, and the little black donkey were all restless. Xiao Yume and Xiao Yuan took out their weapons. Their beautiful eyes are filled with killing intent. Of course we have to attack. What we have to do is not let them escape. Kill all the Darkness Royal race members surrounding us. Don't leave a single one alive. Qin Yun's killing intent surged. The divine inscription mountain was located on a plain, and in the sky from all directions, there were many giant lizard dragons that covered the sky. They released waves of black, evil energy, causing the entire plain to become incomparably dark. Around the plains were evil dragon generals, dark dragon warriors, and some dark royalty members. The main leader was a member of the Darkness Royal family. The little black donkey, Xiao Hua, Wei Zhongjing, and the demonic mirror Immortal Emperor were all very strong. Their mission was to chase after the Dark Emperor. Other than the Dark Royal race people who have been chasing after the divine inscription mountain, Many other major powers have sent scouts to follow them because they want to know whether or not the divine inscription mountain will be captured by the Dark Royal race. All the major powers in the Immortal Desolate knew very well that the reason why the Dark Royal family chased after the divine inscription mountain was to capture Qin Yun and snatch his sun's soul. This was something that all the major forces were paying close attention to. If the Dark Royal clan obtained Qin Yun's sun's soul, their strength would definitely increase by a large margin. They would be able to rely on the sun's soul to suppress the Imperial clan. Other than the spies sent by the various major powers, many busybodies followed behind to watch. They wanted to see how the Divine Mountain would be breached in the end. The Divine Mountain of Inscription could teleport, but the distance of each teleportation was not far. It could be sensed by others. Furthermore, after teleporting, he would pause for a period of time before continuing. Actually, the mountain god did this on purpose. The mountain god's teleportation distance wasn't long, and he needed to rest for a while after teleporting. This also made the people following the Inscription Divine Mountain feel that this was the weakness of the Inscription Divine Mountain. The Divine Mountain suddenly stopped teleporting. The huge lizard dragons in the sky seized the opportunity to launch a series of ferocious attacks on the Divine Mountain. Boom, boom, boom. The giant lizard dragons spat out balls of black and red energy from their mouths. They flapped their huge wings and shot out waves of violent blood-colored lightning. In an instant, a bloody light covered the world. More than 1,000 giant lizard dragons with wings spanning hundreds of meters flashed with a bloody light. They shot out violent lightning bolts and bombarded the Divine Mountain crazily. The ground trembled from the violent energy. The plains were torn apart in an instant. As for the Divine Mountain that had turned into the shape of a giant tortoise, it was enveloped by a continuous barrage of lightning that resembled a violent waterfall. The people in the distance could only see that the area was like a sea of blood-colored lightning, and it was surging violently. The Divine Inscription Mountain is finished this time. After being chased for so long, we finally stopped. The energy of the Divine Mountain must have been used up. Can the Dark Royal family capture Qin Yun alive? I have to say, this Divine Inscription Mountain is truly capable. The Dark Royal family used so much power and spent so much time to hit them now. Sigh. If the Dark Royal family takes down Qin Yun and obtains the Sun's Soul, then we can only rely on the Dark Royal family. A Dark Royal family with a Sun's Soul is definitely stronger than an Imperial family. This Imperial family is really something. Could it be that they're just going to watch helplessly as the Dark Royal family takes down Qin Yun and obtains the Sun's Soul? The people watching from afar all felt that it was a pity. As they discussed, they all sighed. The Divine Inscription Mountain and Qin Yun were both famous existences in the Immortal Desolate. Now, they were going to be captured by the Dark Royal family. The Divine Inscription Mountain was completely fine. The little black donkey was controlling the black tortoise formation to block the energy. As for the mountain god, he was cooperating with the little black donkey to absorb the energy of the group of lizard dragons. One had to know that Qin Yun had carved the Nether Sun totem into the black tortoise formation. Furthermore, it was complemented by other runes. Therefore, while the black tortoise formation was resisting the violent attacks, it could still absorb most of it. The mountain god stored most of the energy and then counterattacked through the 9 dragon head cannons. After a large number of lizard dragons attacked for more than an hour, they finally stopped. What was shocking was that there was a whirlpool in the center of the Divine Inscription Mountain. The blood-colored lightning that enveloped the Divine Inscription Mountain formed a whirlpool and was being rapidly devoured by the Divine Inscription Mountain. This immediately caused a burst of exclamations. The spectators in the distance all thought that the Divine Inscription Mountain was finished. But now, not only was the Divine Inscription Mountain not finished, it was even able to devour the energy of the attacks. Not long after, the energy was completely devoured by the Divine Inscription Mountain. On the back of the giant tortoise-shaped Divine Inscription Mountain, 9 dragon skulls suddenly appeared. The dragon skulls flickered with a faint golden color. Those people in the distance could see many strange runes on the surface of the dragon skulls with their telescopic tools. Although those inscriptions were intricately carved on the surface of the dragon skulls, they looked as if they had perfectly fused with the dragon skulls, as if they were formed by nature. There was a mysterious charm within it, causing the dragon skulls to become even more powerful, bringing with it a frightening, ferocious, and arrogant aura. Old Mountain, you can start killing. Qin Yun and company could see everything outside from the space inside the divine inscription mountain. At this moment, they were looking at the group of lizard dragons in the sky. To hell with you evil things. The mountain god laughed. The 9 dragon head cannons were fired at the same time. The dragon skull that was as large as a small mountain flickered with a golden light. Suddenly, it spat out a ball of golden air. Boom, boom, boom. The huge golden ball of light shot into the sky and suddenly exploded like a firework. The golden ball of light did not bloom like fireworks, but rather a resplendent and violent thunder and fire. The ball of light suddenly shot out a huge flower. Violent thunder and fire exploded one after another. Countless golden flames and lightning densely covered a large area of the sky. It was as if a huge net of flames and lightning had suddenly appeared in the sky. A large group of lizard dragons were hit by the violent golden flames and lightning and flew around in the air. Aolo! The group of lizard dragons let out pained and angry roars. After the lizard dragons' huge wings were hit by the violent golden flames and lightning, they were set ablaze. The cannon shells shot by the dragon head cannons gathered the violent energy they had just absorbed. Moreover, they also fused a large amount of sacred oil and sacred profound silver crystals. After being shot out, the power is extremely terrifying. Suddenly, the earth trembled again. 9 huge and mighty dragon head cannons once again shot at the sky in unison. The explosion caused a loud explosion and caused an explosion, and the sky was once again enveloped by the golden flames and lightning. Bang! Bang! The lizard dragons that were randomly flying around, their huge bodies are burning with golden sacred flames. They're like headless flies that are randomly flying around. They landed on the ground all around them, causing the earth to shake repeatedly. The people watching from afar are shocked and fearful. They are dumbstruck by the divine inscription mountain's counterattack. They're all speechless. With incomparable fear, they calmly looked at the group of lizard dragons that were shot down. The reason why the divine inscription mountain stopped was not because it consumed energy, but because it wanted to counterattack. This sudden counterattack is beyond everyone's expectations. Because these past few days, the tortoise-shaped divine inscription mountain has been constantly fleeing, causing the entire immortal desolate to think that they have retreated. But now, the counterattack is so terrifying, in an instant, the lizard dragon army collapsed. The dark dragon warriors and evil dragon generals are also intimidated by the divine inscription mountain's counterattack. Retreat! The dark royal race's commander suddenly shouted. However, just as they were about to retreat, the divine inscription mountain's killing formation activated. Hoo! With the divine inscription mountain as the center, a huge cyclone suddenly appeared. This cyclone covered a radius of several hundred li. The people watching from afar are also enveloped by the cyclone. Although they are not at the center, they are still enveloped by the fierce and terrifying thunder and lightning astral wind. The divine inscription mountain suddenly moved and approached the group of powerful dark dragon warriors. Along with the movement of the divine inscription mountain, the terrifying thunder and lightning cyclone also moved. As if it was sweeping the earth, it destroyed all obstacles as it moved majestically. Its might is vast and violent. Everything that approached the center of the cyclone was pulled over by a suction force. The lizard dragon that landed on the ground was also swept up by the violent thunder and lightning vortex and smashed into pieces. The dark dragon warriors and evil dragon generals are like ants in front of this huge cyclone. They were sucked into the violent whirlpool. Roar, roar. The dark dragon warriors suddenly turned into black dragons. They roared and did their best to struggle free from the whirlpool. However, after becoming big, they became the target of the dragon head cannon. Those dragons can be eaten, Xiao Yuanmei suddenly shouted. Several hundred dark inscription dragons. The dragon head cannon became busy again. It madly bombarded those dark inscription dragons that are revolving all around. Ha ha ha. Invincible. We are invincible. Kill these bastards. The mountain god very excitedly shouted. The divine inscription mountain can also absorb remnant souls and store them in a certain place. These remnant souls are used for sacrifice. Get rid of the big guy. Leave those small things to us. Qin Yun said. The dragon head cannon is not good at attacking small targets. The thunder and lightning storm stopped. The huge dark inscription dragon's body fell to the ground and was suddenly taken away by the power released by the divine inscription mountain. A large group of evil dragon generals were all injured by the thunder and lightning. Only those 100 Dark Royal Race people's situation is better because they have very powerful equipment and their strength is not bad. Let's go, Qin Yun shouted. Those who can fight suddenly flew out of the divine inscription mountain and rushed towards the Dark Royal Race people. And the mountain god is also controlling the divine inscription mountain even more tightly. If they encounter any danger, he can also help them or teleport them back to the divine mountain. Qin Yun came out. Are they going to kill all the Dark Royal Race people? Ayaya. This is too bad. The Dark Royal Race will suffer a great loss. Maybe the Dark Royal Race will be completely annihilated. We should quickly send the news back. Chapter 1695. Completely exterminated Qin Yun and the others finally left the divine inscription mountain to fight against the Dark Royal Race people. Most of the Dark Royal Race people were affected by the killing formation. Although they are not seriously injured, they consumed a lot of energy to resist the formation's violent thunder and lightning. The leader of the Dark Royal Race is a very strong, immortal emperor. They also have more than 10 immortal emperors. Their immortal emperors were the target of the divine inscription mountain's attack. The divine inscription mountain's killing formation did not affect most of the Dark Royal Race people. Instead, it focused on the immortal emperor leaders. This way, it will be much easier for Xiao Hua and the other immortal emperors to deal with the Dark Royal Race's immortal emperors. As for Qin Yun and the others, they're going to kill those immortal kings. Qin Yun used the Nether Spirit's sacred blade to sweep across the ground a few times. He killed those evil dragon warriors who were beaten black and blue and absorbed a large number of remnant souls. The more remnant souls the Nether Spirit sacred blade absorbs, the stronger it becomes. When the Dark Royal Race people saw Qin Yun and the others fly out, they originally wanted to retreat. But now they're going to meet the attack head-on. Because they feel that they have more people on their side, they will definitely win. Xiao Hua, Wei Zhongjing, and the others are not weak. They have broken divine tools from Divine Desolate in their hands. These divine tools are very powerful and can be compared to excellent sacred tools. In addition, the armor they were wearing was also a broken god-grade armor. Coupled with the powerful immortal emperor power in their bodies, they could produce a strong defense. One of the Dark Royal Race Immortal Emperors hacked at Devil Mirror Immortal Emperor a few times, but he was not injured. Instead, he was stabbed several times by Devil Mirror Immortal Emperor. Because they don't need to worry too much about the opponent's attack, Xiao Hua and the others don't need to defend too much during the battle. They can concentrate their power and attack crazily. In this way, not long after the battle started, those immortal emperors more or less suffered some injuries. Although they're fighting many, they still suffered great losses. The reason why they suffered losses is because their equipment is not enough. Xiao Yuelon summoned the Nether Realm Mad Dragon and used sun-suppressing divine arrow. She chased after the fleeing Dark Royal Race people with killing intent. Xiao Yuanmei cooperated with Black Mouse by Zhe and concealed herself. She seized the opportunity to suddenly attack. Yu Shaoling used her flame, sound divine bow, coupled with some slightly damaged arrows from the divine wasteland, to display an extremely terrifying killing power. She is Xiao Yuelan's fairy, so she is very cooperative with Xiao Yuelan. The two of them also have a tacit understanding. The person fighting with Xiao Yuelan would easily be targeted by Yu Shaoling and then shot by an arrow. Then, Xiao Yuelan would use the sun-suppressing divine arrow to pierce their heads. Among the spectators, many of them fantasized that the Inscription Gate and the Dark Royal race would fight to the death, and then they would go over to take advantage of the situation. When they saw how powerful the people from the Inscription Gate were, their illusions were shattered. The two of them didn't dare to have any thoughts because the people from the Inscription Gate were simply too terrifying. The 100 or so people of the Dark Royal race are all warriors with rich battle experience. They often fight with the Imperial race, but now they were completely defeated by a few people from the Inscription Gate. Qin Yun is chasing and killing Dark Royal race people. As long as someone is targeted by him, their body will suddenly lose balance and float up. That was because Qin Yun used supergravity to reduce a person's weight to 0 and then float. When a person feels that they have suddenly lost gravity, it is equivalent to falling into a quagmire. They can only struggle randomly. It is extremely difficult to dodge. Only with enough power can they break through Qin Yun's gravity shroud. Hula. Qin Yun used the light transformation sacred pupil to flash over, chop down with his saber, and kill the third-stage immortal king of the Dark Royal race. At this time, 2 Dark Royal race immortal kings rushed over. As soon as they arrived, Ling Yuner controlled the gravity sword. The gravity sword is formless and colorless. It swiftly pierced towards the 2 immortal kings rushing over. The 2 immortal kings could feel a strange and terrifying power approaching them. They immediately brandished the weapons in their hands and struck towards the 2 swords of gravity. Their reaction is very fast. They can also lock onto the gravity sword and release extremely strong power to destroy the gravity sword. However, although the gravity sword has been dispersed, it did not disappear. Under Ling Yuner's control, the scattered gravity sword enveloped the 2 immortal kings in an instant. Seeing the 2 immortal kings floating up, Qin Yun immediately rushed over and killed one of them with 1 saber strike. The 2 immortal kings who attacked Qin Yun were killed in the blink of an eye. Roar! Qin Yun suddenly summoned the Nether Realm Heavenly Lion because he saw the Dark Royal race people fleeing. He said before that he must kill all the Dark Royal race people who attacked the Divine Inscription Mountain. After the Nether Realm Heavenly Lion appeared, it quickly chased after the fleeing people. At this moment, the Divine Inscription Mountain also slowly moved over and released a very strong space domain. In this domain, other than Qin Yun and the others, other people's teleportation talismans are useless. Therefore, the Dark Royal race people cannot use teleportation talismans to leave, nor can they send a message for help. Don't let them run away, Qin Yun shouted. More than 100 Dark Royal race people. Now only 30 or so are left. Leave it to me, Mountain God said. He controlled the spatial domain and teleported the people who fled to the edge back. After devouring a large amount of instant void immortal iron, his use of spatial power is very brilliant. In addition, Qin Yun gave him many spatial totems and runes, allowing him to use even more spatial techniques. 5 Dark Royal race immortal emperors have already been killed. As for the rest, they were also resisting with great difficulty. I'm coming, Mountain God suddenly shouted. A very long stone vine suddenly appeared from the divine mountain and fiercely swung towards a fleeing immortal emperor. After that immortal emperor was hit, he fell to the ground. Wei Zhongjing rushed over and used the sun-suppressing divine arrow in his hand to quickly kill him. Near the divine inscription mountain, miserable screams rang out incessantly, especially those Dark Royal race people who were targeted by Xiao Yuelan. Before they died, they were tortured to the point of being in unbearable pain. The miserable screams they let out caused people's scalps to go numb. Xiao Yuelan is the sect master's wife, Qin Yun's wife. The dark royal race wants to snatch Qin Yun's son's soul. They want to break through the divine inscription mountain and destroy the divine inscription gate. Therefore, when she dealt with these people, she is filled with incomparable anger. During the battle, Xiao Yuelan seems to have changed into a different person, as if she is killing. She has the soul and soul of the killing god. She can directly obtain a very terrifying killing power and increase her strength. The onlookers were also using their own methods to pass the news back to their families. They originally wanted to use spatial transmission, but the space here is very unstable. They suspect that the divine inscription mountain deliberately created it. Let's get away from here, someone suddenly said. If those fellows think that we have any thoughts about them, they might attack us. That's right. That Qin Yun is a fearless fellow. He dares to provoke anyone. An old man nodded. When the onlookers saw that the battle was about to end, they swarmed away. They were worried that Qin Yun and company would treat them as members of the Dark Royal race and kill them. Most of the Dark Royal race members have been killed. Only the commander is still alive. His throat was pierced by Wei Zhongjing's sun-suppressing divine arrow, and his shoulders were stabbed by Immortal Mirror's long fork. As for his head, it was caved in by the little black donkey's hooves. This commander is an immortal emperor, but now he is extremely aggrieved. They regret attacking the divine inscription mountain. They also know how terrifying Qin Yun and company are. Dark Royal race. This matter is not over yet. My divine inscription gate can be said to have no grudges with you, but you came to kill us. This is courting death. Qin Yun walked over, and his calm voice was filled with anger. You are not an imperial race, but you dare to become enemies with our Dark Royal race. Don't be too arrogant. The old man said coldly, I advise you, you'd better let me go and give me your son's soul. Then you might have a chance to live. Qin Yun immediately laughed out loud. Then, with a slash of his saber, he beheaded the commander. You are about to die, yet you are still bragging. The little black donkey curled its lips and said. Its hooves ferociously kicked the corpse a few times, causing it to explode. Prepare to go to the Imperial Race Shrine. Qin Yun looked at the divine inscription mountain and said, This is just our warm-up. We have a bigger goal. Qin Yun and company returned to the divine inscription mountain one after another. Inside the divine inscription mountain, there are many dark inscription dragons. It will take some time for them to go to the Imperial Race Shrine. And now, Qin Yun and company are roasting those dark inscription dragons. After having a good meal, they will attack Xieyang. Xiao Yun, have you thought about how to attack Xieyang? Xiao Yuelan asked. Not yet, Qin Yun said with frown. Wait until we get closer. I want to see Xieyang's specific situation. The Imperial Race Shrine is located above the Heavenly Crater. Its main purpose is to guard the passage to the Darkness Great Desolate. Qin Yun also asked the Star God to release his divine flame to help them roast a god-level giant dragon. The Star God gave Qin Yun 10 god-level giant dragons before. At that time, everyone wanted to have a taste, but because they didn't have a strong enough flame, it was difficult to roast them in a short period of time. But now with the help of the Star God's divine flame, it is much easier. The Star God divine flame is also very strong. It can roast them very quickly. In the past, no matter how big a dragon is, it would be killed by the little black donkey in Xiao Yuan. But now, although the divine dragon meat is delicious, it is very difficult to digest. Even the little black donkey is full after eating a bit. I can't eat anymore. I feel like I can be full for a few days. The little black donkey lied down on the ground and said with smile, Divine dragon meat is indeed different. Xiao Yuan burped and said with smile, Brother, there is still more than half of the divine dragon meat. Can I preserve some? The divine dragon meat is not easy to refine, so everyone is full after eating a bit. Of course you can. Everyone divide it and preserve it. Eat it when you feel like eating. Qin Yun said with smile. After we kill Xieyang, we will eat again. The mountain god said, Boss, that Xieyang is very powerful. It is possible to heavily injure Xieyang, but it is very difficult to kill him. Chapter 1696. Before the attack, the inscription Divine Mountain is quickly heading towards the Imperial Race Divine Palace. Inside the Divine Rune Mountain, Qin Yun and the others were discussing how to attack Xieyang. The Dark Royal Race's experts are all inside, the two Xieyang. They must know that the guy they sent has been killed by us. Wei Zhongjing said, if we suddenly appear near Xieyang, they will definitely attack us. Demon Mirror and Mortal Monarch said, both of them are very strong. We need to end this quickly. Zi Qingchang said, how do you think the Emperor clan will react when the time comes? The Monarch race wants to stop the war with the Dark King race. If we happen to take down one Xieyang, will the Monarch race attack the other Xieyang? Shui Tianzi smiled. If that's the case, then it'll be great. Xiao Yuelon shook her head and said, it's hard to say. Those fellows from the Emperor clans were very treacherous. The only thing that can threaten them is not the two Xieyangs, but something from the great wilderness. Xiao Hua said, it is also possible for the D clan to sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight, and then take action according to the situation. Who knows? They might even deal with us. The Black Donkey laughed. There's nothing to be afraid of. The Xuanwu formation is very strong. It won't be that easy for the Emperor races to break it. If they break through, we can still escape. Little Black Donkey, there are Divine Inscription Palace and Dragon Race under the banner of the Emperor clan. Xiao Yuanmei said, for this kind of truce negotiation, expert from Inscription World and Dragon Race will definitely appear. Qin Yun, who had been silent all this while, suddenly said, Old Shan, how long can you maintain your spatial domain? It's hard to say, but it should be able to last for some time. The Mountain God said, should I release the space realm and use the 9 dragon cannons to attack Xieyang? The space domain is to prevent the other Xieyang from interfering. The attack of the 9 dragon cannons should be able to damage the surface of Xieyang. Qin Yun said, when the time comes, we will indeed have to act quickly. If it doesn't work, we will quickly retreat. Xiao Hua said, boss, there's still a 9-star wild dragon formation on the Divine Mountain. If I activate the 9-star wild dragon array at that time, it will definitely have a good effect. Activating the 9-star wild dragon formation required the cooperation of a star god. There is also a 9-star wild dragon formation inside the Divine Mountain. Furthermore, it could be used repeatedly. The wild dragon stars that were summoned could also be controlled. Yu Shutian participated in the 9-star violent dragon formation. Yu Shutian is a star fairy princess. She placed many star spirits into the formation pillar. Even without star god's help, the summoning of stars will be faster and stronger. Qin Yun said, when the time comes, I will have to go inside Xieyang. His words surprised Xiao Hua and the others, and they shook their heads repeatedly. No, it's too dangerous to enter Xieyang's body. Wei Zhongjing said, there's no need to take such a risk. In any case, we have already caused the Dark Royal race to suffer great losses this time. That's enough. Mountain God also said, Immortal Emperor Demonic Mirror and the Little Black Donkey try to persuade him not to act recklessly. Qin Yun looked at Xiao Yuelon. Xiao Yuelon did not immediately answer. Instead, she was thinking about something. I think Xiao Yun can enter Xieyang. Xiao Yuelon was silent for a moment. She suddenly said, it's not that easy to break Xieyang, or else the Monarch races will not stop the war with the Dark Royal race so easily. Xiao Yuanmei said in low voice, last time, Big Brother defeated Xieyang. Xiao Yuelon said, last time, the situation is different. Old Mountain, after we get there, use the 9 dragon head cannons to attack Xieyang. After creating a hole, stop and retreat. Then I will rush in through the hole. I will destroy the defensive formation and barrier inside. You will come over and activate the 9-star violent dragon array to completely defeat Xieyang. Qin Yun said. Xiao Yuelon said, everyone, don't worry. Xiao Yun has the teleportation jade pendant. If there's any danger inside, she will be able to teleport out. Xiao Huan nodded and said, if Xieyang has a spatial barrier, Old Mountain will rush over and use his own spatial domain to interfere with the barrier and bring the sect master back. That's the only way, Wei Zhongjing said. Xiao Yun, you must be careful inside. It doesn't matter if you don't succeed, as long as you are still alive. Qin Yun smiled and said, I know. I do this kind of thing very often. Then everyone go and rest. Inscription Divine Mountain will be able to reach the Monarch race celestial palace very soon. Let the whole immortal desolate know how powerful we are. Mountain God said. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon arrived at the floating cloud pagoda together. The young couple had a very sweet time together. It was supposed to be a very good thing, but Yu Shaoling, that rogue elf, wanted to join in. Fortunately, Qin Yun restricted Yu Shaoling from entering the floating cloud pagoda, otherwise it would have ruined their happy moment. After the couple had a good time, Qin Yun went to find Star God, while Xiao Yuelon comforted the angry Yu Shaoling. Qin Yun told Star God about the result of the battle and expressed his gratitude to her. At the same time, he also sacrificed the remnant souls he collected during the battle to Star God. Star God knew that Qin Yun wanted to defeat Xie Yang, so she agreed to cooperate with Qin Yun. Xiao Yun, when the time comes, activate the 9-star violent dragon array. I can sense it. I will control even stronger stars to go there. Star God said with smile. Sister Star God, it is very difficult to defeat Xie Yang. We need to do it from the inside. I want to sneak in and destroy it. Do you have any suggestions? Qin Yun asked. Sneak in? This is very dangerous. Star God frowned and said, but since Xie Yang appeared in Immortal Desolate, then the strongest guy inside is only peak Immortal Emperor. Qin Yun nodded and said, that is why I think it is not a big problem for me to sneak in. Xiao Yun, I have something for you. Star God thought for a while and said, go inside Xie Yang and throw that thing out. What thing? Qin Yun knew that Star God had something good for him. Star God smiled and said, prepare to receive it. Qin Yun nodded and saw a box suddenly floating above the altar. When he grabbed the box, he felt something vibrating inside. It seems to be a very strong energy. What is inside? Qin Yun asked in shock. It is very dangerous. Hold it well. Star God said, do not make any big vibrations. There's a star core sealed inside. The core of a star? Qin Yun took a deep breath. The thing that Star God gave Qin Yun was from Divine Desolate. It means that the star core is also the core of a Divine Desolate star. The power inside must be divine power. Xiao Yun, remember, after throwing out, leave as soon as possible. Star God said again, I am worried that Xie Yang is not as strong as I thought. If it explodes, the impact will be very big. All right, I understand. Qin Yun nodded and said. After getting the thing from Star God, Qin Yun felt a lot more relieved. Star God said again, Xiao Yun, although there's a war going on in Divine Desolate, once the war ends, the structure of Divine Desolate will also change. Qin Yun saw Star God's worried expression and quickly asked, Sister Star God, what are you worried about? I am worried that the Space God will pledge his loyalty to the Monarch race, then strictly control the entire divine wasteland space. The Star God said, if that's really the case, then it will be very difficult for me to deliver things to you. Will the Space God really do that? Qin Yun is also very worried. If Star God cannot send him anything, he will lose a channel to obtain resources. I don't know. That is why I am worried. Star God sighed and said, I will see if I can join the Monarch race. Qin Yun nodded. Star God also stopped contacting Qin Yun. She said that she will take advantage of this period of time to collect as many resources as possible for Qin Yun. Qin Yun very carefully stored the box given by Star God. There is a star core inside. If he is not careful and explode it, it will be very dangerous. The Divine Inscription Mountain has become very small. If they teleport inside the mountain, it will be very difficult for others to detect them. They want to secretly go to the Monarch Race Divine Palace. The Monarch Race Divine Palace is like an island. It is floating beside a huge heavenly crater. And on the other two sides of the heavenly crater, there are two huge black balls floating. They are the two Xie Suns of the Xie Yang race. Dark Royal race people are inside the Xieyang race. They know that the people they sent were killed by the inscription gate. This caused them to become very angry. In a large hall inside the Monarch race divine palace, Guanghan Palace, Dragon Race, Monarch Race, Inscription Gate, Nether Sect, these few great factions people are gathered together. Apart from the Monarch Race, other factions know Qin Yun better. They are not surprised that the people sent by the Dark Royal Race were killed by Qin Yun. Because this is Qin Yun's style of doing things, it would be strange if he was not killed. After Immortal Desolate Sacred Master heard this news, he is secretly worried that Qin Yun will attack Xieyang. He knows that Qin Yun's past life was the God King. Although he doesn't have the memories of the God King, his way of doing things is very similar to a God King style. This Qin Yun really has some ability, a middle-aged man from the Monarch race chuckled and said. This time the Dark Royal race suffered a big loss. They only suffered a small loss, that's all. The few people they lost are nothing. Another old man said disdainfully, Qin Yun has 2 sun souls. If he can't even deal with a few people from the Dark Royal race, wouldn't he have wasted 2 sun souls? The middle-aged man from the Monarch race said, according to the news, Qin Yun did not use Sun Soul during the battle. How can the power of Sun Soul be so easily discovered? Qin Yun must have used Sun Soul to deal with the Dark Royal race. The old man from the Monarch race said with certainty, therefore our Monarch race must obtain the Sun Soul. As long as we have the Sun Soul, we can completely eliminate the Dark Royal race and destroy the Great Desolate. The middle-aged man from the Monarch race said with sneer, Elder Yuan, you want to monopolize the Sun Soul, right? In any case, I don't want Qin Yun's Sun Soul. This person is not to be trifled with. Chapter 1697. Bloodline Suspicion within the Emperor Race Divine Palace. There are many big shots who have good relationship with Qin Yun. Although they did not say anything, they are very dissatisfied in their hearts. They all felt that it wasn't easy to obtain the Sun Soul, but this imperial clan said it was theirs, wanting Qin Yun to hand it over. This was robbery. Elder Yuan, if you think that Sun Spirit belongs to Emperor Race, then go fight with Qin Yun. Our Qin family will not participate. That middle-aged man said. What? Could it be that your Qin family thinks that Qin Yun has your Qin Imperial Race's bloodline? Don't be delusional. Your Qin family's bloodline has already been severed in Immortal Desolate. It is impossible for Qin Yun to have Qin Imperial Race's bloodline. Elder Yuan said with sneer. Everyone is startled hearing this. That Elder Yuan is speaking with certainty on the surface, but everyone can see that he is worried that Qin Yun truly has Qin Imperial Race's bloodline. If that is the case, then Qin Yun would belong to Qin Imperial Race. If Qin Imperial Race has Sun Spirit, then wouldn't their Yuan family be suppressed by Qin family? Therefore, Elder Yuan has been advocating snatching Qin Yun's Sun Spirit to avoid any unexpected problems. The big shot sent by Guanghan Palace is Xian Rujing. She is ice and snow goddess. Now she is secretly suspecting whether or not Qin Yun has Emperor Race's bloodline. Nether Sect sent Qin Long. Not many people know that he is Qin Yun's father. He is wearing a half mask to cover up the divine dragon totem on his face. Xian Rujing glanced at Qin Long and saw that his expression is very calm. This made Xian Rujing feel that Qin Long must know a lot of things. Qin Long gives Xian Rujing a very mysterious feeling. After all, he is Qin Yun's father. To be able to give birth to a son like Qin Yun, he is definitely not simple. Immortal Desolate Sacred Master is secretly startled. He knows that Qin Yun was once the king of gods. If he also has Emperor Race's bloodline, then it would be terrible. Dragon Race's Scarlet Sun Dragon Mother also knows that Qin Yun had a mortal king, Fu Yun's past life. Whether it is Qin Yun's past life or current life, he is equally formidable. Therefore, she suspects that Qin Yun has Emperor Race's bloodline. Qin family middle-aged man said with smile, Elder Yuan, you are worrying too much. If you didn't say that, I would never have thought that Qin Yun would possess the bloodline of the Qin Imperial clan. Now, it would seem that I must confirm it properly so that you don't accidentally injure my Qin Imperial clan's disciples. Elder Qin, you must be joking. Qin Yin is not a native of Immortal Desolate. He came from the lower realms. It is very likely that he came from the lowest level Great Desolate. Elder Yuan said with sneer. It is clear that he has investigated Qin Yin quite clearly. Elder Qin chuckled and said, then it's even more likely. There were seeds of the Qin Imperial clan in every wasteland. Our Qin Imperial clan was once in decline, and we could only develop in a lower wasteland. Therefore, in the low-level Great Desolate, my Qin clan has the most disciples. The Desolate Nine has already been destroyed several times. Your Qin clan's disciples are so weak. Who knows how many times they've died? It's simply impossible to pass down the bloodline. Stop dreaming. Elder Yuan sneered. No matter what, I have to find Qin Yin to confirm it. Elder Qin looked at Xian Rujing, Qin Long, Immortal Desolate Sacred Master, and others and asked, I heard that your relationship with Qin Yin is very good. I wonder if you can help me contact him? Immortal Desolate Sacred Master shook his head and said, Qin Yin is a very suspicious person. Moreover, he has offended many people. It will be very difficult to contact him. Qin Long also shook his head and said, he is now on guard against Emperor race and Dark Royal race. He is worried that his sun soul will be stolen. Now that the Dark Royal race has been destroyed, he must be hiding. It will not be easy to contact him. A3. He must know that our Guanghan Palace has come to Emperor race. He must believe that Guanghan Palace is allied with Emperor race. He must be on guard against our Guanghan Palace. With Qin Yun's temperament, he will not trust anyone who comes in contact with Emperor race. Xian Rujing said. They all tacitly said that they are unable to contact Qin Yun because they don't want Elder Yuan to play dirty tricks in secret. If Elder Yuan knew that they can contact Qin Yun, he would use despicable methods to find Qin Yun through them. A3. Truly regretful. Elder Qin shook his head and sighed. After they beat back the Dark Royal race, they must be hiding like a hive. Xian Rujing, Immortal Desolate Sacred Master, and Qin Long all think so. They think that Divine Mountain will hide and develop for a period of time, only come out after they have enough power. They also decided to inform Qin Yun about the matter of Qin Imperial race bloodline and ask him whether or not he is interested in confirming it. Elder Yuan said with sneer, Elder Qin, did you hear? Qin Yun is on guard against us. I know you want Qin Yun to join your Qin Imperial race. Even if he doesn't have Emperor race bloodline, you will still let him join, right? After all, he has Sun Soul, huh? But how can he believe you? Elder Qin's face is calm. He said in cold voice, Elder Yuan, do you really want to snatch his Sun Soul? Not snatch. I want to take back my Emperor race's Sun Soul. Among our Emperor race, whoever takes it back first, the Sun Soul will belong to that family. Elder Yuan coldly groaned and said. Elder Qin said with sneer, that's good. When you do this, don't use the banner of Emperor race. It's your Yuan Imperial clan that's doing this. Don't implicate us. There's no need for you to remind us. We will definitely do this for the sake of our reputation. Otherwise, your Qin family will say that you have a share in the Sun Soul. Elder Yuan laughed. An old woman with a head full of white hair slowly walked out and said with a smile, let's talk about it after you find Qin Yun. The process of this fellow exterminating the Dark Royal race is very terrifying. Yuan family, don't capsize your boat. Elder Shao, didn't your Shao family plan to borrow Qin Yun's Sun Soul? Your borrowing is very clever. Elder Yuan said, we sincerely want to borrow it to take a look. Elder Shao said, hee, you borrowed it and didn't return it, right? Elder Yuan said with a smile. At this moment, a middle-aged man walked in and said, the people from the Dark Royal race are coming. Elder Qin asked, Old Qi, who from the Dark Royal race came to talk to us? Is there enough? Old Qi said with a smile, there's enough. All of us combined are not even as good as a finger of theirs. This immediately caused people to be emotionally moved. There are many surnames in the imperial clans, and Qi, Shao, Qin, and Yuan families are the strongest four. They all send an elder to talk. Their weight is very high, and all of them combined are not as good as a finger of the other side. Who is it? The Dark Royal Race's clan king? That guy should be in the Divine Desolate. On the Divine Desolate side, our clan emperor must also be discussing with their clan king. Elder Shao said, "The clan king's daughter, they sent a princess. What do you think of this weight?" Old Chi said, "The clan king's daughter. The clan king is the king of the entire Dark Royal race. His daughter naturally has a lot of weight." This immediately caused the people from the imperial clans to become silent. "If we don't send a prince or princess, it won't be acceptable," Elder Yuan said with a frown. "But the princes and princesses have all gone to the Sacred Desolate, or the Divine Desolate. Our princes and princesses don't even have immortal rank cultivation." Elder Shao said doubtfully, "That Dark Divine King actually has a daughter in the Immortal Desolate. What's going on? When the children of the Dark Divine King are born, they are either sacred or divine. How can there be an immortal?" Elder Qin said, "There is only one possibility. She sealed a certain amount of cultivation and entered the Immortal Desolate through the Great Dark Desolate." At this time, a powerful dark aura suddenly surged in from outside. Although the hall is incomparably bright, it suddenly makes people feel a bit dark and oppressive. It is a kind of illusion that comes from a mind. Whoosh! A wave of black energy surged over, and dozens of people suddenly appeared in the middle of the hall. The ones leading them are a few old men with a head full of red hair, and behind them is a tall and graceful woman wearing a mask. The woman is wearing a luxurious purple-red dress, her black hair draped over her shoulders. The mask has no eye holes, so it is impossible to see her eyes. However, one can feel that she has an extraordinary might. On the side of the Dark Royal race, there are also the big shots of the Evil Sun race, Immortal Desolate Great Emperor, Devil Immortal Great Emperor, and other evil powers of the Immortal Desolate. A red-haired old man from the Dark Royal race swept his gaze over them and said with a slight disdain, "Friend from the Imperial clan, is that all you have? Aren't you afraid of being wiped out by us? If you have the guts, then do it." Elder Qin smiled faintly. "For such an important negotiation, you only sent 4 great elders. The boss of the Immortal Desolate's Imperial clan did not even show up. Isn't this looking down on us too much? Or could it be that the boss of the Immortal Desolate's Imperial clan is unable to come?" The old man from the Dark Royal race chuckled. "Boss is not free. If you think that my Imperial clan is weak, then feel free to continue fighting with us. We are not afraid." Old Chi chuckled and said, "We haven't had enough of a fight in the heavenly pit." The red-haired old man said, "Since it is a truce, we will send a princess to stay in your Imperial clan as a hostage. As for your side, you must also send someone of the same status to stay in our Dark Royal race. This way, everyone can be at ease." The princess of the Dark Royal race had actually come to stay as a hostage. This was something that the Imperial clan did not expect. They did not have any disciples of the same status. As for the old fellows on the Imperial clan side, they were suddenly worried that the Dark Royal race would send the princess to the Imperial clan to set up some sort of scheme. Just when the Imperial clan side was in a very difficult situation, everyone's expression suddenly changed, because a very strong spatial fluctuation rushed over. "Dark Royal race, what the hell are you doing? This kind of spatial fluctuation is a very strong space barrier domain. What are you sealing?" Elder Zhao's expression is gloomy as he shouted, "This is your doing, right?" The old man from the Dark Royal race also flew into a rage and shouted. And at this time, a few youths rushed in with panicked expression and shouted in alarm. "Not good! The Divine Inscription Mountain has appeared." The Divine Inscription Mountain released a very strong space barrier domain and sealed a Xieyang. What? The expression of the Dark Royal race's people greatly changed. The Imperial clan side is also extremely shocked. They all thought that after Qin Yun's Divine Inscription Mountain exterminated a large group of Dark Royal race people, it would definitely go into hiding. But now it actually appeared beside the Heavenly Pit and even sealed a Xieyang. Chapter 1698. Chapter 1698. Violent attack on Xieyang. All the big shots inside the Imperial Race Shrine's main hall are extremely shocked. Although they know Qin Yun's style of doing things, they never expected that Qin Yun would attack Xieyang. This is near the Heavenly Crater, the Dark Great Desolate's passageway. The Dark Royal Race's home is under the Heavenly Crater. 2 Xieyangs are here. Moreover, there's also a powerful Imperial race. These 2 powerful races want Qin Yun's Sun Soul, but Qin Yun is like a moth flying into a flame. He is attacking Xieyang. Is it really the divine inscription mountain? Elder Yuan is also very surprised and somewhat worried. Because Qin Yun suddenly attacked Xieyang, he will have to face 2 Xieyangs and a large number of Dark Royal Race experts. If Qin Yun is captured by the Dark Royal Race, it will be very disadvantageous for the Imperial race. It's really the divine inscription mountain. That mountain suddenly appeared and released a spatial barrier. Their defense is very strong. Even the experts from Xieyang can't break through their defense. The young man said, "This Qin Yun's actions are really surprising." Elder Qin sighed. He killed so many Dark Royal Race experts before. It is really unexpected. Did not expect that he would not hide properly. He actually came to attack Xieyang. This is Qin Yun. Whoever dares to attack him, he will make them feel pain for 8 to 10 years. Someone said, "This person is from Nether's sex side. He's just throwing his life away." Someone from the Dark Royal Race laughed loudly. "This brat Qin Yun, he came to attack our Xieyang. Then he is ours. You Imperial Race experts better not interfere in this matter." An old man from the Dark Royal Race warned the Imperial Race experts. Elder Qin said, "Just don't implicate our Imperial Race Shrine." Elder Yuan clenched his fists and gritted his teeth. He very much wants the Sun Soul. If he watches the Dark Royal Race experts take Xieyang, he will die of heartache. Xian Rujing is sending sound transmission to Qin Long and Immortal Desolate Sacred Master. They all know how strong Xieyang is, plus there's a Dark Royal Race expert here. It will be very difficult for Qin Yun to attack Xieyang. Moreover, it will be very dangerous. He might even be captured. They also knew that Qin Yun had done so. Firstly, it was to take revenge on the Darkness Royal family. Secondly, it was to warn the Imperial clans and intimidate them so that they wouldn't have any designs on a Sun Soul. Imperial Race's elder, Xiao, chuckled and said, "This Qin Yun, is he trying to kill the chicken to warn the monkey? He wants to take this opportunity to show off and then make our Imperial clan fear him?" Elder Yuan sneered. "So what if he killed Xieyang? He is still not a match for our Imperial clan. By doing this, he is merely digging his own grave. Who has our Imperial clan ever feared?" Elder Qin said, "Friends of the Dark Royal family, why don't you go out and take a look? I will warn you, Imperial Race, once again. Qin Yun and Divine Inscription Mountain are ours. When the time comes, don't fish in troubled waters." The Dark Royal Race old man said in cold voice, "You speak as if our Emperor clans are afraid of you all. Even if we fish in troubled waters, what can you all do?" That old Qi was in a bad mood, shouting, "Then don't stop fighting." The Dark Royal Race's old man said angrily and then quickly walked out. The Dark Royal Race's group rushed out of the Emperor Race Shrine. Suddenly, black gas rushed out of the Emperor Race Shrine that is like a huge island, accompanied by bursts of frantic astral wind. Dark Royal Race's experts came out. Emperor Race's people also came out. Earlier, Xian Rujing, Qin Long, Immortal Desolate's Sacred Master, and others secretly agreed that if necessary, they will definitely help Qin Yun. After everyone came out, they saw a turtle-shaped mountain creeping at the edge of the Heavenly Crater. There are 9 mighty golden dragon heads on the turtle's back. Emperor Race and Dark Royal Race's people saw the turtle's back and the 9 dazzling golden dragon heads. Their pupils shrunk. Their expression changed. Dragon Race's dragons cried out in alarm. "That is a divine dragon skull. Where did he get it?" Crimson Sun Dragon Mother cried out in alarm. There is a very strong defensive formation on the turtle's back. If I am not mistaken, it should be the Black Tortoise Great Formation. It is the Black Tortoise Divine Beast Totem. Elder Qin is extremely shocked. The runes carved on the divine dragon skull have 9 dragon totem. Moreover, those runes are dragon transformation runes. This guy is truly awesome. Dragon Emperor exclaimed in admiration. A very strong spatial barrier domain. Even if we join hands, it will not be easy to break it. Old Chi is also extremely shocked. Is this the strength of Divine Mountain's inscription gate? Were those runes created by Qinyan? This guy's inscription level is very high. It is truly astonishing. Elder Qin's face is filled with shock. At the same time, he is also very worried. He is worried that Qinyan will be killed by the Dark Royal race. From the bottom of his heart, he wants to recruit Qinyan in a Qin Imperial race. This kind of talent, even if he doesn't have Emperor race bloodline, he will still be a very formidable existence. Those divine dragon skulls seem to have very strong power condensed inside. Immortal Desolate's sacred master is also extremely envious. He wants to find Qinyan and ask for some divine dragon bones to strengthen his body. Dark Royal race's people already rushed over and began frantically attacking the spatial barrier domain released by Divine Mountain. And Xie Yang, who was floating on the other side of the heavenly crater, also quickly flew over to help attack the barrier domain. Berserk attacks burst out with loud, vibrating sound. Rumbling, trembling sound reverberated under the heavenly crater, causing the entire heavenly crater to tremble. Emperor race experts are looking at Divine Mountain from the sky. They also saw the dragon skull and the turtleback flickering with intense golden light. Qinyan and the others finally arrived at the side of the heavenly crater. They arrived below Xie Yang. Mountain God is right. The barrier released by Divine Mountain can last for a period of time. Begin attack, Qinyan shouted. Boom, boom, boom. 9 dragon cannons shot out the energy that has been condensed for a long time. Looking from the distance, one can only see 9 incomparably huge light balls, bringing along incomparably dreadful power, rushing towards the huge black, evil sun in the sky. The saint power released by the 9 light balls caused many experts to cry out in alarm. What is going on with this level of saint power? How do they make it? They also have very strong saint flame. It seems like they used a lot of sacred mysterious silver crystals. The most dreadful thing is that they can fuse saint power with 9 dragon totem and burst out with very strong dragon power. The bigwigs of the imperial clans were discussing in astonishment. Inside the attacked Xie Yang, there were also many who ran out, wanting to attack the Divine Rune Mountain. But the light balls shot out by the 9 dragon cannons suddenly rushed up at an extremely fast speed. A large group of people were still some distance away from the light balls. They were all burned to ashes by the scorching saint flame. Finally, the 9 balls of light collided with the gigantic Xie Yang. Xie Yang is very huge. The energy shot out by the 9 dragon cannons is too small compared to the evil sun. It is like a grape compared to a watermelon. Rumble, rumble. 9 consecutive cannons hit the same spot. This is to create a hole on the surface of the evil sun. As long as there is a hole on the surface of the evil sun, Qinyan can easily enter. There is a special barrier around the evil sun. It is difficult to enter and exit freely. The energy shot out by the 9 dragon cannons is very strong, and they all hit the same spot. But there is no hole on the surface of the evil sun. The first round of attack has failed. Someone from the Dark Royal race laughed loudly. A bunch of fools. You are all looking down on our Xie Yang. That is from the Divine Baron. Xie Yang has been through hundreds of battles in the Divine Baron. He is not destroyed even after several eras. How can trash like you break through it? Ha ha ha, Divine Mountain. Do you know how strong Xie Yang is? Just you wait. When we break through your barrier, it will be your death. Qinyan, come out now and hand over the sun's soul. The people from the Dark Royal race side, all of them shouted angrily. Qinyan looked at the evil sun in the sky. His face turned serious, and he said, "Activate the 9-star Wild Dragon Array." Boss, the dragon cannons hit the bottom of the evil sun. The 9-star Wild Dragon Array summoned the stars of the dragon. It is not appropriate to hit the top of the evil sun. Mountain God said, Xie Yang has a defensive barrier. If we focus our firepower on the top, then the defensive formation will focus its power on the top. At that time, it will neglect the other parts of the barrier. We can attack the bottom and create a hole, Qin Yun said. Mountain God nodded and activated the 9-star Wild Dragon Array. Array activated. Suddenly, a furious dragon roar came down from the sky. The immortal emperors of the ancient city of Immortal Emperor sensed this aura and knew that it is the 9-star Wild Dragon Array. The Immortal Emperor City Lord shouted in shock. It is the 9-star Wild Dragon Array. Our ancient city of Immortal Emperor was almost overturned by this array. This kind of killing array should only exist in Divine Desolate, right? How did that guy Qin Yun get it? Elder Qin asked doubtfully. It is not easy to set up this kind of array. He can actually do it. It is not difficult for Qin Yun. He can carve dragon transformation runes. I suspect that he has at least 2 inscription spirits. Immortal Emperor City Lord said. Inscription spirits are very rare. One person has 2. This is a very incredible matter. Soon after, a muffled dragon roar came down from the sky. Not long after, a huge star appeared. This star is very big. It is half the size of Xieyang. It is flickering with red light. It transformed into a huge dragon head. It roared and rushed down. The people from the Dark Royal race who were laughing just now cannot laugh anymore. Xieyang, who is being attacked, has been locked down by the barrier released by the Divine Mountain. It is hard for him to move. Boom! The dragon head rushed down and landed on top of Xieyang. A fiery red light burst out. It pierced everyone's eyes, making them unable to see the center of the explosion. Xieyang was hit and sank down a bit. It was wrapped up by the fiery red light. The star that Star God helped to mobilize this time is indeed very strong. It is much stronger than when they attacked the ancient city of Immortal Emperor. Chapter 1699. Sun and moon shine together. Just the first dragon head star had descended, and its power was already so great. Then the second dragon head star fell, and it was even bigger than the first one. The Dark King race's people attacked the spatial barrier even more furiously. Only by breaking through the barrier could they control Xieyang to escape and attack the Divine Rune Mountain. Boom! The second dragon head star crashed onto the top of Xieyang, causing another huge commotion. The surroundings of the crater were filled with broken pieces of stars and fire. The sky was filled with fire and red mist. Xieyang was really tough. Even after the second dragon head star fell, the defensive array formation was still intact. The third dragon head star fell. Elder Qin and the others stood outside the Monarch race's celestial palace. They were shocked as they looked at the falling dragon head star. Elder Yuan, are you still planning to ask Qin Yun for the Sun Soul? Elder Qin asked, if our celestial palace is attacked like this, do you think we can withstand it? Oomph. Elder Yuan snorted. Even after 7 dragon head stars fell, the top of Xieyang was still intact. The Dark King race's people also calmed down because they could tell that the 9-star Berserk Dragon Array couldn't completely destroy Xieyang. There's nothing to be afraid of. Our Celestial Palace's defense is not any weaker than Xieyang's. Qin Yun still can't break through Xieyang's defense. It seems like he's nothing much. Elder Yuan sneered coldly. The people inside the attacked Xieyang quickly took control of the array formation, focusing all the power on the top to deal with the last 2 dragon head stars. This time, it was 2 dragon head stars that fell. At the same time, the 9 dragon head cannons on the turtle's back flashed again. The dragon head cannons fired again. Boom, boom, boom. The top of Xieyang was hit by 2 huge dragon head stars, and the bottom of Xieyang was hit by 9 consecutive cannons. The whole area within a few dozen miles of Xieyang was shrouded by all kinds of violent chi clouds. All kinds of lightning bolts flashed around, covering the entire Xieyang, making it impossible to see what was happening inside. Qin Yun also seized the chance and flew out of the Divine Rune Mountain, charging towards Xieyang. He could completely conceal his aura. After all, he was now filled with violent energy. No one would be able to detect Xieyang flying in the air. Just as he expected, the bottom of Xieyang was blasted open by the 9 gates dragon cannons. A few meters wide hole was opened up and the defensive shield there was also cracked. The inscription Divine Mountain took advantage of this moment to suddenly teleport away. But Qin Yin was already inside Xieyang. The inside of Xieyang was very spacious. There were many passages. After Qin Yin entered, he had to be very careful not to be discovered. Originally, he had planned to throw the box that the star god had given him and leave. But after giving it some thought, Zhong Yu felt that it was necessary for him to enter the deepest part and retrieve the energy core from Xieyang. The rampaging energy around Xieyang disappeared, and the space domain released by the Divine Rune Mountain was also gone. Xieyang had finally broken free from the shackles released by the inscription Divine Mountain. It was quiet around the sinkhole. Qin Yin left, whispered the immortal Arch City Lord. "Let's go." A small hole appeared in Xieyang. Elder Qin said, "The strength of the inscription Divine Mountain is indeed not bad to be able to break through Xieyang's defense and create a hole on its surface. They did not destroy Xieyang, but the strength they displayed is enough for us to pay attention to them." Elder Zhao's expression turned solemn. He said, "I will not stop any of you if you want to provoke Qin Yun, but you must not use the banner of the Monarch race." Elder Yuan groaned and said, "We are Monarch race, yet we are afraid of a mere inscription gate." Elder Yuan, the inscription gate has great potential. A few months ago, they were still being chased by the Dark Royal race, but now they have suddenly become so strong and even attacked Xieyang. In a few more years, do you think our Monarch race shrine will be able to stop them? Old Qi said, "You bunch of cowards. If my Yuan clan obtains the Sun Soul, you won't even be able to take a look at it." Elder Yuan coldly groaned and said. Xian Rujing and the others felt a lot more relieved, because it seems like Qin Yun's inscription Divine Mountain has retreated. If they were not in this place, they would have taken out the soul-chasing talisman to see if Qin Yun is in the vicinity. However, even though the inscription Divine Mountain has left, Qin Yun is still inside Xieyang. The inside of Xieyang is in chaos. Qin Yun used mysterious penetration divine ability and directly went through it. Xieyang's energy source is very special. Qin Yun wants to use it to create a sun and awaken a sun soul forever. It must be known that Xieyang came from Divine Desolate. Such a big thing coming from Divine Desolate requires a lot of energy to open a spatial passage. It can be seen how powerful the core of Xieyang is. The Dark Royal race people once again returned to the Monarch race shrine. That red-haired old man cursed in low voice. "This damned Qin Yun. Sooner or later, we will capture him. Then we will line up 1,000 Dark Royal race warriors and cut off a piece of his flesh." "Your Xieyang is really awesome," Elder Qin said with a smile. "We were very worried for you just now." You want our Xieyang to be destroyed, right?" The red-haired old man laughed loudly and said, "Qin Yun, sorry to disappoint you. Although our Xieyang was slightly damaged, it is not affected at all." A Dark Royal race middle-aged man said with a smile, "Do you know how strong our Xieyang is? Are you afraid now?" And Xieyang race old man laughed. "If the Monarch race shrine is attacked by the Divine Rune Mountain, it will not last long. Our Xieyang is still the strongest." These words made the Monarch race people very unhappy. The Dark Royal race old man said with a smile, "Let's continue the negotiation. We have pledged a princess to your Monarch race. You also need to pledge a prince of the same status." "What if we don't?" Elder Xiao said. "Then after the war, our Dark Royal race will get a bigger share. We want Xian Province and Earth Province." The Dark Royal race old man said. The Monarch race people's face turned gloomy. Xian Province and Earth Province are two big provinces. Either one of them is bigger than Heaven Province. The Dark Royal race wants these two big provinces. No, the few Monarch race elders disagreed. "Then let's not talk anymore. Let's continue the war." The Dark Royal race old man laughed. "Let's fight. Who is afraid of who?" Old Qi snorted. "We have been fighting for so many years. We have never been afraid of you. Since we can't negotiate, let's continue the war. Who knows if your princess is real or not?" You want to trick us with a random princess? Elder Shao sneered. Our princess is the real deal, and she's very strong. The old man from the Dark Royal family said with a face full of respect and pride. Suddenly, a middle-aged man rushed in and shouted, Not good. There is someone inside Xieyang. The Xieyang spirit found that someone is heading towards the core of Xieyang. Fuck, it must be that damned Qinyan. Quickly send someone to kill him. A Xieyang race middle-aged man cursed. This little bastard, he actually snuck into Xieyang. The inscription Divine Mountain's attack on Xieyang is not over yet. When Qinyan opened a gap, he already snuck into Xieyang and went straight to the core. When everyone heard this news, they couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. The inscription Divine Mountain only attacked Xieyang to open a gap for Qinyan to enter. They did not really want to attack the whole Xieyang. To attack Xieyang, it is best to attack from the inside. The Dark Royal race immediately left the Monarch race Celestial Palace. If they lost to Xieyang, they would not have enough capital to negotiate with the Monarch race. The reason why they dared to fight with the Monarch race was because they had two Xieyangs. Qinyan, who is inside Xieyang, has already arrived at the core. The core of Xieyang is a white pearl. It is only the height of a human. It is emitting pure white light. This core is different from the one I got before. When Qinyan used the floating cloud rod to pierce a Xieyang, something drilled into the floating cloud rod. Now, it seems like the core of every Xieyang is different. Qinyan died. The core of Xieyang let out a roar. Hoo hoo hoo. The spinning core of Xieyang started to blow out white gusts of wind. Qinyan's head felt like it was going to split open. His body was also in pain. The core of Xieyang can actually launch strong attacks. This is also a means of self-protection. Xiaoyun, this is the spirit of Xieyang, the thing that controls the Xieyang. Ling Yuner said. Qinyan was in the huge stone chamber in the center of Xieyang. His body was plastered to the wall. The violent white light struck his body, causing him immense pain in both his body and mind. I can only use that move. Qinyan suddenly roared. A black moon appeared on top of his head. It is the nether moon. And above the nether moon, there is an incomparably black thing. It is the nether sun. The nether sun suddenly became bigger. It is much bigger than the nether moon. Qinyan took out the Gemini treasure mirror, shined it on the nether sun, then controlled the nether moon to move towards it. With the help of the mysterious fusion heavenly rune, the nether sun and nether moon suddenly fused together. The nether moon entered the nether sun. The moment the nether moon and nether sun fused together, a golden light burst out. Sun and moon shined together. Qinyan shouted in his heart, Destroy that Xieyang spirit. The fused sun and moon burst out with an extremely strong golden light. The evil sun spirit screamed, feeling incomparable pain. But not long after, the core of Xieyang calmed down. After the black nether sun and nether moon fused together, they turned into a huge golden light ball and burst out a very dreadful power. This state of fusion did not last for long. The sun and moon separated again. When they separated, Qinyan felt extreme pain in his soul and body. Fortunately, this pain did not last for long. Qinyan can endure it. He rushed towards the core of Xieyang and stored it inside the nine-sun divine soul. Then he threw out the box given by Star God and used the teleportation jade pendant to leave the Xieyang. After the core of Xieyang was taken away by Qinyan, the entire Xieyang slowly fell down. All kinds of defensive formations are gone. Chapter 1700. Core Crystal Mother. The Xieyang's core was taken away by Qinyan. Everyone inside and outside of the Xieyang could see it, especially those who were outside of Xieyang. They could see that the initially powerful Xieyang had suddenly turned lifeless and was even descending. The arrays and enchantments around Xieyang also disappeared in an instant. Boom! Inside the Xieyang, a deep rumble came out. Hearing the rumble, everyone's heart skipped a beat. Not only did Qinyan take away the core, He even planted something inside to blow up the Xieyang. This was insane. One had to know, even if the Xieyang fell to the ground, as long as the damage wasn't too great, Xieyang could still come back to life by planting a core inside. In the entire Xieyang, the core was important, but not as important as the Xieyang. Because to create such a huge and sturdy Xieyang, it required a lot of time and materials. These CS suns were the result of many years of hard work by many talented inscription blacksmiths. Only then did they become as powerful as they were today. But now, 2 of them were going to be destroyed. Xieyang had been in the Divine Baron for so long, it had never been destroyed before. At most, it was only injured and could recover quickly. Ever since Xieyang came to the Immortal Baron, it had lost too. The rumble came from the center of the Xieyang. The Xieyang was so huge, the core was so sturdy, yet the sound of the explosion could be heard from the surface. One could imagine how powerful the explosion inside was. The power of the explosion had only exploded in the center. It had not yet spread to the surface, but it was already very soon. It was like water ripples spreading out wave by wave. Boom! Another rumble came from inside the Xieyang, but this time, the surface of the black Xieyang finally showed some movement. The slowly falling Xieyang suddenly had cracks on its surface. Looking at the cracked Xieyang, the Dark Royal Race members' eyes turned red. They had nowhere to vent their anger. They could only roar and curse at Qin Yun. Boom! The third rumble came from inside the Xieyang, and the cracks on the surface of the Xieyang suddenly burst into flames. The inside of the Xieyang was filled with fire. The Star God Star Core might not be big, but it was so powerful that Qin Yun's heart skipped a beat. Qin Yun was already teleported to the Divine Rune Mountain far away. They could see the gigantic Xieyang cracking as it fell. Those in the Monarch race, Celestial Palace, had their eyes widened as they stared at the falling Xieyang in shock. On the surface of the cracked Xieyang, waves of fierce flame burst out. After that kind of flame rushed out, it released an incomparably scorching heat current. The heat waves surged in all directions. Even though the people in the surroundings were quite far away, they could still feel the terror of the flames. Is that divine flame? Imperial Clan's Elder Qin cried out in alarm. How did Qin Yun create divine flame? Everyone knows that Qin Yun's divine inscription mountain controls many sacred flames. But now, he could even create a divine fire. It's not divine flame, it's just a bit of divine flame aura, but it's powerful enough. Immortal Desolate's Sacred Master said. He also didn't expect Qin Yun to have so many dreadful things in his hands. Elder Yuan's expression is unsightly because Qin Yun is not as easy to deal with as he imagined. Rumble, Xieyang finally landed beside the sinkhole, bursting into a sea of flames. The damaged fragments were engulfed by the fierce flames. Many fiery fragments fell into the sinkhole. Magma gushed out from the gigantic Xieyang and covered a large area of land beside the pit. Xieyang has been destroyed. It's Qin Yun's doing again. Qin Yun had killed Xieyang before, and now he had killed another one. He destroyed 2 altars and defeated 2 Xieyangs. This will once again shake every great desolate. This kind of shocking ability, even the big shots of the Imperial Clan are shocked. Dark Royal Race's people are about to explode in anger, but they can't do anything because they can't find Qin Yun. Qin Yun's voice suddenly came from afar. Dark Royal Race, this is the result of you attacking the Divine Inscription Mountain. Wars like this, you attack us, we will also fight back. My inscription gate is not weak. Not just anyone can bully and humiliate us. This is the result of going against us. I hope everyone can take this as a warning. This is not over yet, the other Xieyang. We will take him down sooner or later. Hearing Qin Yun's words, everyone is shocked. Qin Yun actually wants to get rid of the other Xieyang. The Imperial Race's people are also shocked by the Inscription Gate's power. The Inscription Gate dared to challenge the Dark Royal Race, and even destroyed Xieyang. This is something not even the Imperial Race can do. The Dark Royal Race facing a Monarch race is already difficult enough, But now they have to face such a terrifying inscription gate. Imperial Race's Elder Qin suddenly said, "Inscription's sect master, our monarch race has never thought of becoming enemies with you. Before the apocalypse, we have a common interest. We should try our best to benefit from the resources bestowed by the Nine Suns and become stronger." After saying that, he looked at Elder Yuan. Elder Yuan let out a long sigh and nodded his head. If it was only his Yuan royal race, they are not a match for Xieyang, let alone the inscription gate that can destroy Xieyang. That's for the best. We will mind our own business. Qin Yin replied. The monarch race's words are also a clear statement. They will not snatch Qin Yun's son's soul. But Qin Yin will not really believe it. He always keeps an eye out for everything. The dark royal race's side has suffered a great loss. Now that Xieyang has been defeated, it is not good for them to ask for too much territory from the monarch race, because if they fight, they will definitely be at a disadvantage. What worries the dark royal race the most is that if the inscription gate and the monarch race join hands, then the remaining Xieyang will be defeated very quickly. Originally, the dark royal race and monarch race equally divided the land in the immortal desolate, but now that the inscription gate has appeared and directly defeated Xieyang, the power structure of the immortal desolate has changed slightly. Because in the immortal desolate, the dark royal race and monarch race are not necessarily invincible. Although the inscription gate scale is not as big as them, the power they have displayed is enough to make them fear. Sect Master Qin, the dark royal race wants to negotiate with you. The one who spoke is the daughter of the dark royal race's king, the princess of the dark royal race. She has been in the monarch race's palace for so long, she has not spoken a single word because no one can see her face and eyes. No one knows what kind of person she is. In addition, the dark royal race wants to pledge her to the monarch race. So people think that she is not very strong and her position is very ordinary. But now it seems that she has a very high position. Otherwise, she would not be able to make such a decision. The people of the monarch race secretly nodded. The dark royal race and the inscription gates negotiation is very clear. Otherwise, the remaining Xieyang might be defeated one day. You can make the decision. Qin Yin heard a woman's voice and is somewhat surprised. I am the daughter of the dark royal race's king, Princess Yi. Of course I can make the decision. Princess Yi said, I don't want to negotiate with you. Qin Yin said, although my inscription gate is not as strong as your dark royal race, you can't do anything to us, and we can still cause great losses to you. Qin Yin directly spoke out his thoughts. He has already obtained a Xieyang core. He still wants to obtain another one. If they agree to negotiate, how are they going to do it? Everyone is in an uproar. Qin Yin actually refused to negotiate. His intention is very clear. He clearly wants to do something big to the dark royal race. Everyone knows that the Xieyang core suddenly disappeared. It must have been taken by Qin Yin. That core is very precious. There is still another Xieyang here. The more the better. Then what do you want in order to stop the war? Princess Yi asked coldly. It was your dark royal race who first came to find trouble with us. It was you who first declared war on us. Now you're asking for peace. You have to show some kind of expression. Qin Yin said, what do you want? Although Princess Yi's voice sounds calm, it makes people's hair stand on end. I want the heads of Immortal Desolate, Great Emperor, and Devil Immortal Great Emperor. Will you give them to me? Qin Yin said with sneer. When Immortal Desolate Great Emperor and Devil Immortal Great Emperor heard this, their hearts trembled. They don't belong to my dark royal race. I can't give them to you. Princess Yi said, Princess, these two great emperors are extremely strong, an old man said in low voice. Immortal Desolate Great Emperor and Devil Immortal Great Emperor can live for so long. They must have very strong strength. If they're forced into a corner, the consequences will be very serious. If you can't give them to me, then forget it. Qin Yin coldly groaned. Princess Yi said, I have a Sun Core Crystal Mother in my hand. It's much better than your fragments. The Core Crystal Mother can absorb the power of the 9 suns for me to recover. This way, if you want to use the Sun Soul, you won't need to accumulate so many core fragments. As your cultivation gets higher and higher, the number of core fragments needed to awaken the Sun Soul will increase. In the future, you will need tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of core fragments to become a god. Can you collect that many? If you can't collect them, your Sun Soul will sleep forever. With that said, Qin Yun was secretly tempted. He had 3 Sun Souls. In the future, he would need more and more core fragments. And now, he did not know how to cultivate Sun. He felt that before he became a god, it would be very difficult to cultivate a son. And what surprised him was that Princess and Yi actually knew so much about the slumber of the Sun Soul. This meant that Princess and Yi most likely also had a Sun Soul. Of the 9 Sun Souls, Qin Yun had 3 in his hands. The whereabouts of the other 6 were unknown. It was also very likely that they were obtained by others. I want 2 core crystal mother, Qin Yun said. I can only give you 1. If you don't think it's possible, then there's no need to talk about it. Let's continue fighting. My darkness, great desolate, can send an army to support us at any time. Qin Yun, if you have the ability, then defeat another Xieyang. Princess and Yi said, all right, just 1 core crystal mother. Qin Yun also agreed. It was too important to awaken the Sun Soul. Chapter 1701. Chapter 1701, Peace Negotiation. Qin Yun really wants to know how powerful the core crystal mother is. If it is a very deceptive thing, he is not willing to negotiate. The specific situation will have to wait until we see the core crystal mother. Qin Yun said, Princess Anya, can you come and talk to me alone? The divine inscription mountain also suddenly appeared on the ground far away. Everyone saw the divine inscription mountain suddenly teleport, and they are all secretly shocked. Such a big mountain can actually appear and disappear unpredictably and quickly teleport. Even Xieyang would find it difficult to do this. Princess, don't go. That guy is crafty and cunning. Rumor has it that he is very lecherous. It is too dangerous for you to meet him alone. A dark royal race middle-aged man quickly advised. Princess, that Qin Yun is a big sex fiend. If you go, he might taint your chastity. A dark royal race middle-aged woman said. Qin Yun can hear the middle-aged man's words and cursed in his heart. There are actually rumors saying that he is a big sex fiend. This is really hard for him to accept. Do I look like a sex fiend? Qin Yun said in a bad mood. Xiao Yuelon and others who were at the side cannot help but laugh out loud. Princess Anya said loudly, Qin Yun, I guarantee that there is no problem with my core crystal mother. You don't need to worry. How about this? Our dark royal race is about to negotiate a truce with the imperial race. Are you interested in participating? Imperial race Elder Qin said with smile. Sect Master Qin, you don't need to worry. Our imperial race still has credibility. I don't trust you. Qin Yun shouted. Credibility is not just talk. It has to be done. How can you prove that you have credibility? Sect Master Qin, being cautious is a good thing, but being too cautious is not good for cooperation. Elder Qin said, I am an honest person. If I was not afraid of being cheated, would I be so cautious? You huge monsters love to cheat honest people like me. Of course I have to guard against you. Qin Yun said. Everyone despised Qin Yun. This kind of guy actually calls himself an honest person. Especially the devil immortal heavenly gate, Xian family, and Xieyang race. Before and after they entered the ancient garden, they were completely tricked by an honest person like Qin Yun. Princess and Yi said, Qin Yun, it is rumored that you are an extremely lecherous pervert. Naturally, I can't talk to you alone. You're guarding against us. So shouldn't we be guarding against you? Don't think that just because you're a princess that I like you. Even if you strip naked, I won't even bother to look at you. Don't think too highly of yourself. Qin Yun said in a very bad mood. Then let's not talk anymore. You powerful fellows are already very guarded against. You actually don't want to cooperate with me. The Dark Royal Race people are furious. Qin Yun's words are simply humiliating their Dark Knight princess. You bastard. Princess Anya said angrily. Forget it if you don't want to talk, goodbye. Qin Yun said. Wait. Princess and Yi said. I can sign a soul contract with a notary to guarantee that I won't hurt you. If Elder Qin of the Imperial Clan is easy to talk to, I will sign a soul contract with him. How about it? No, you signed a soul contract with the Immortal Desolate's Sacred Master. This guy should be the strongest here. You can't kill him, Qin Yun said. After signing a soul contract, if the other party was killed, there would be a way to break the contract. All right. Princess and Yi looked at the Immortal Desolate's Sacred Master. The Immortal Desolate's long golden hair fluttered in the wind. He has a fat head and big ears. He is very easy to recognize. You can sign a soul contract with me, the Immortal Desolate's Sacred Master said. After Princess and Yi and the Immortal Desolate's Sacred Master signed the soul contract, Qin Yun dared to come out. He brought Xiaohua and flew to the top of the Imperial Clan Divine Palace. What caused Qin Yun to be surprised is that the people from the Xiao family are actually on the Imperial Clan side. The Xiao family was originally a very ancient inscription family. Previously, they were very close to the Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate and the Immortal family. Now, they have actually sided with the Imperial Clan. Qin Yun is wearing a blue robe. The robe is carved with dragon transformation runes. This is proof that he is a dragon transformation inscription master. He and Xiaohua landed on a platform above the Imperial Clan Divine Palace. Seeing Qin Yun, the big shots of the Dark Royal race and Imperial Clan are all shocked. They knew that Qin Yun is very strong, but after seeing him, his cultivation is much weaker than they imagined. On the Dark Royal race's side, the Immortal Desolate Great Emperor and the Devil Immortal Great Emperor are also extremely shocked when they saw Qin Yun's face, because Qin Yun is very similar to the Immortal King Fu Yun they know. Of course, Immortal King Fu Yun has been dead for a long time, and they killed him with their own hands. Now that they see Qin Yun, they only suspect that Qin Yun is related to Immortal King Fu Yun. Elder Qin very carefully stares at Qin Yun because he suspects that Qin Yun has the bloodline of an Imperial clan. Let's talk here. Qin Yun looked at the masked Princess and Yi and said, "Take out your core crystal mother and let me take a look. It must be useful." Princess and Yi took out a thumb-sized golden crystal and said, "This is the core crystal mother. It's so small. Is it useful?" Qin Yun said with a frown, "Can it really awaken the sun soul? You can give it a try." Princess and Yi threw the core crystal mother to Qin Yun. Qin Yun received it and took out his 9-sun divine hammer. The 9-sun divine hammer is a faint golden red hammer. Now, it is already asleep. There is no luster on its surface. It looks lifeless. When everyone saw the hammer, their eyes were filled with fanaticism and jealousy. This is one of the sun souls, the 9-sun divine hammer. Other than this hammer, Qin Yun also has a pair of sun soul. There's also a pair of heaven-trampling divine boots, which is also one of the sun souls. A person possessing 2 sun souls is indeed very enviable. Everyone only knows that Qin Yun has 2 sun souls. They don't know that his 3rd sun soul is the 9th Heaven Xian Sparrow. If they knew, they would definitely explode from jealousy. Just leave the core crystal mother on your body. You can activate the energy inside the core crystal mother and transfer it to your sun soul. You can awaken the sun soul. Princess and Yi said. Qin Yun gave it a try and saw that after the 9-sun divine hammer absorbed the energy of the core crystal mother, it really did wake up. It released a very scorching light, as if it was close to the sun, especially the aura that the 9-sun divine hammer burst out with. It caused people to feel fear. This is the power of the sun soul. Just in the hands of an immortal king, it is already so powerful. If it was controlled by an even more powerful god, wouldn't it be invincible? Good, I'm very satisfied, Qin Yun said. Within 100 years, our Dark Royal race will not attack your divine inscription mountain, and you are not allowed to attack Immortal Desolate Xieyong. Princess and Yi said, "What if it is some other small fight? You Dark Royal race people are so overbearing. Some of them don't like me and will secretly attack me. Don't tell me I won't fight back?" Qin Yun asked. In a large area, it is very difficult for us to guarantee. If someone from the Dark Royal race really attacks you, then you can fight back, In short, my Dark Royal Race's Xie Yang and the Dark Royal Race's army will never attack the Divine Inscription Mountain. Princess Yi said, with so many people from the Dark Royal Race, it is hard for me to guarantee that someone will not attack you. Qin Yin nodded and said, if there's really a Dark Royal Race attacking the Divine Inscription Mountain or attacking me, it is not your intention. It is all their willful actions. We can fight back, right? Princess Yi nodded and said, yes. What I can guarantee is that the Dark Royal Race will not launch a large-scale attack on the Divine Inscription Mountain and you. Then let's sign the soul contract. Qin Yun glanced at the Devil Immortal Great Emperor and the Immortal Desolate Great Emperor. Their faces are covered with masks, and it is impossible to see their faces. However, he can feel that they have a very powerful aura. Qin Yun and Princess Yi signed the soul contract and smiled in satisfaction. All right, goodbye. Qin Yun turned around and was about to leave, but was stopped by Elder Qin. Sect Master Qin, please wait. Elder Qin said with smile. I suspect that you have my Qin Imperial Race's bloodline in your body. Are you interested in testing it? Hearing him say this, the expression of the Dark Royal Race people slightly changed. Qin Yun's surname is Qin, and there is a very powerful Qin Imperial Race in the Imperial Race. This immediately made people feel that the Qin Imperial Race wants to recruit Qin Yun. Even if Qin Yun doesn't have the bloodline of the Imperial Race, they would still say that he does. This way, Qin Yun can join the Imperial Race and also obtain the protection of the Qin Imperial Race. Qin Yun looked at the masked Qin Long and asked for his father's opinion. Elder Qin said again, there are many surnames in the Imperial Race, and the strongest of the four Imperial Race are the Qin Imperial Race, Shao Imperial Race, Yuan Imperial Race, and Qi Imperial Race. In the Immortal Desolate, among the four great inscription aristocratic families, other than the Shiman family, the other Qin family, Shao family, and Qi family all have extremely thin bloodline of the Imperial Race. Back then, at the edge of the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range, there were also 3 families with these surnames. These 3 families are the descendants of those who came down from the Immortal Desolate when the Immortal Graveyard was built. In other words, Qin Yun's body most likely has the bloodline of the Imperial Race. Then Xiao Yuelan, Xiao Yuemei, and Qi Melian might all have the bloodline of the Imperial Race. Qin Long secretly transmitted his voice to Qin Yun and said, Xiao Yun, agree with that, Elder Qin. This guy is very easy to talk to. Elder Qin has the appearance of a middle-aged man. He has a square face, and when he smiles, he looks righteous and awe-inspiring. He indeed gives people a good impression. Of course, Qin Yun will not judge a person by appearance. After all, one can know a person's face but not their heart. Dad, is this Elder Qin really reliable? Qin Yun asked through sound transmission. Of course he is reliable. Qin Long said, I hope that you can understand some things inside the Imperial Race. Dad, you're saying this because you are certain that I have the bloodline of the Imperial Race. Qin Yun is shocked in his heart. Indeed, you and I both have the bloodline of the Imperial Race. Even though it is very thin, we are all descendants of the Imperial Race. Qin Long said, what about you? Are you not joining the Imperial Race? Qin Yun asked, I have other things to do in the Nether Sect. Qin Long said with smile, Xiao Yun, you must understand as many things as possible inside the Qin Imperial Race. It will be very helpful to you in the future. Qin Yun thought about it. He also wants Xiao Yuemei and Xiao Yuelan to join the Imperial Race. However, he can only think about it after he understands the Imperial Race. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.